What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Music Girl Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Waylon Jennings' old basement studio. My name is Jury, and as always, I'm gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole. Well, pass it to introduce the guests.
What the fuck was that intro?
a little more animated than normal.
Yeah, you said all the right normal words, but like there was some weird skips and new inflections.
Got a little fucky
There
today.
was some zhuzh.
Oh, fucky.
Yeah. Tonight on a fantastic, tremendous, out of this universe episode of Music Girl Hideout. That sounds like it was written by ChatGPT. That was just my brain.
Struggling
we have
to be.
the Foxies, local legends and apprentices to the stars. I don't know what I'm saying. The Foxies.
The Sultan of SWAT.
And the Sultans of SWAT. We've got Julia and Jake. And who are the rest of your band that's not here?
We got Mr. Rod Dettles.
Rob Bodley is our drummer.
I don't know. I'm just going for the sound effects.
And Chris
Straight
Amond
chaos.
is our bass player.
Isn't it Amond?
Chris Amond?
Is it Amond? Amond? God, I should know his last name by
think
now.
we're
He's been in my
saying
band
it.
for 4 years.
Sorry,
Chris.
But thank you guys so much for coming. Been hearing about your band for a long time, just in the scene. How long have you guys been a band, by the way? I know it's a stupid question. I should just know that.
No,
but
it's
I looked
okay.
up.
So the Foxies started in 2014 in Phoenix, but I didn't find these guys until 2016 and 17. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Did you have a Phoenix stint?
I did.
I could see Phoenix energy.
Really?
Not that you're from Phoenix.
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. Like, what is
No,
Phoenix
just
energy?
like you passed through.
Oh, yeah,
You look
I
like you
passed-
grew
Up
up a
in
little
the
bit.
desert.
I passed through. It was right after my Brooklyn stint. So I was like, Brooklyn, then Phoenix. And then I was like, where the fuck do I go now? Nashville.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you guys have like a West Coast energy in your music.
Thank
So it had to
you.
come from somewhere.
That means a lot. We hear East Coast all the time.
Oh, really?
Really?
Well, it also depends. We also hear Germany, so.
Oh.
I mean, it might just be our bias as we are West
We're
Coast.
West Coast guys.
Oh.
Yeah. And I heard I was listening to a little bit of another podcast you were on,
Mm-hmm.
and you had mentioned your first concert was Green Day.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Sure.
that came in early, but like,
Yes.
that's totally when we grew up, West Coast, like pop punk was king. And, you know, obviously Green Day's huge heroes
my
of
God.
Southern California music. Blink 182, etc.
Mm-hmm.
First question. This is a stupid first question, but have you guys heard the new Blink 182 album?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think it's great.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I thought it was solid.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, no,
I
I
feel
think it's
so
really cool.
I didn't
bad.
even know it existed.
I think like it's, how do I say this? Like what's happening now, I feel like in a lot of pop punk pop music is, and Green Day had something to do with this too. But as much as I love them, I feel like the Blink influence is more of maybe what's on the radio or what's like really big on social media. So it felt very right to hear a new Blink album.
It does.
come
Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it felt like it didn't feel like, oh, it's like the old band that used to be this young band do. You know what I mean? Like it didn't
Yeah.
feel like, oh, they're old now. It kind of was like, yeah, because everybody else is kind of celebrating what they were doing before. So I thought it was cool.
It was needed.
Good
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of bands getting old, I saw a picture. It was an ad or something that had the Backstreet Boys in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're like dads. Like
You
they're
know-
like kind of chubby dads.
You know what's crazy to me? What's crazy to me is I was sleeping on Kevin for so long. He was always Brian for me. When I was like 3 years old, it was Brian. And then I see this TikTok of Kevin, and I'm like, where the fuck was he when I was 3? I mean, I was 3.
You know, Kevin, apparently, this is only word of mouth, but I was a big Backstreet Boys fan, and my cousin Allison told me that she got a kiss on the cheek from Kevin. She got to go to TRL live. She's
Oh, wow.
a little not a joke. I swear, he kissed
I
her.
don't know. I was always more of an
Is there-
instinct gal. I don't know.
No.
Me too.
No.
Me too. Justin Timberlake, I had a poster of him in my closet, and it was when he was the picture was from like Tiger Beat or something, and he had the really like blonde ramen noodle hair.
Oh yeah, the good stuff.
And he's sitting posted on my closet inside of a waterfall.
Oh, wow.
And it's so just like moody. moody and sexual, and I would kiss that every night.
Nice.
JT in a moody waterfall.
Oh my god, I wanted to be that waterfall.
Which weirdly reminds me of Jesus Christ.
How are you gonna get out of this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, already. Do we have a name for the episode? I wanted to be the waterfall. Like,
Great.
I love to come up with these like arcane episode titles that are like some weird thing you said, and you won't know what they are till later. Leslie looking
He's already
it up.
got it.
Yes, I need to see this. Oh wow, is that it?
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah,
Oh wow.
I would kiss
Wow.
it every night.
Do you still have that?
Well, you know what? It's been through many, many moves and
Yeah.
many moons.
Because now that's a little kid.
Oh my god.
He is such a baby.
Yeah,
right
he's like
there.
15 looking.
Yeah, you're right. He's a child. That's weird now. But
But you were a child. It made
I
sense.
was
at
a
the
child.
time.
I was 3. I was wanting to be his best friend.
Okay.
Sure.
For some reason, that image reminds me of your Timothée Chalamet song, and I heard just far enough in the other podcast.
Good.
Now I'm just a rehash of the other podcast, but whatever.
No.
That's
But
fine.
you were talking about you have a song named Timothée Chalamet.
Yes.
And it came out of a Crazy Dream, very waterfall-esque. I'm just seeing do you see the connection I'm making here?
Yeah, it's Julia's brain.
My brain's weird. It was an interesting that song. Everything about that song just kind of came together so effortlessly in a sense of like I had a dream about Timothée Chalamet, but it was more so like he was. You know the tale of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The painting. Well, I was in this old house and I see this painting of Timothée Chalamet. And he brings me through this painting into this haunted house world. And I'm stuck in this haunted house, but I didn't give a fuck because I was making out with Timmy every day. And the ghost of Timmy.
Theo.
Yes. And I was like, this is epic. And then the next day, our co-writer who we were writing with, he comes in and he gives us a list of songs. And the list was, one of the songs was Timothée Chalamet. And I was like, this is perfect. Let's write a song about Timothée Chalamet. But it's not about him. That's the thing.
Oh, what's it about?
It's just, well, so many people think, there's so many rumors. I don't know if I can say them all. I can.
Okay.
Hold on. No, I'll tell you. It's about a dream of a man. It's about Timmy. It's not about Timmy.
Gotcha.
Or it's about,
He just represents.
yes.
Yeah.
Or a vibrator named Timothée Chalamet.
Sure. Whatever
People like to believe that one.
Did this co-writer like give you any explanation for why they thought to make a song called Timothée Chalamet?
His name is just so
Percussive.
yeah.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys on the drive over here, and immediately I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to Google this guy." I was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "I know that name." And I was like, "Oh, it's the guy from Dune." All right.
He's a babe.
And it's like I also feel like I mean you're right. It is kind of a weird song title, but like we look at songs now and it's like, oh, that would be big on TikTok or that would be clickbait material, and it's like, but I think that people have always been doing that. Like you kind of what's the food of the day? Like what are the kids like super stoked about? Sometimes that's really good fodder for either a title or whatever.
I mean, the concept of trends is not new. I don't know why people think
No.
it is.
Correct.
They're just quicker now.
Yeah.
Correct. It is crazy though. Whenever I see his face and there's a new movie, I'm like, oh, cool. People are gonna stream our song.
Timothy Chalamet.
True.
What's the food of
Do you
the
think
day?
he's heard
Timothée
it?
Chalamet. Honestly,
I think he's probably heard it.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
well, that I like to think he hasn't because that makes me mad
Oh,
because
that
he
wouldn't-
hasn't
that
reached
he wouldn't
out
reach
yet.
out. Yeah.
And you know, it's okay because it's not a fan song. It's just he's got a very nice bouncy name.
Yeah.
Timmy.
Well, it's funny you were saying.
I thought
like,
you were going other places with that sentence.
like what you're saying with trends, like the stuff that is now 50 years old is like classics to us. Like, let's say like the Beach Boys. Like they were totally full on just trend chasing in the beginning of
Totally.
their career.
Totally.
It was all like, cars are so cool and happening with kids right now. We're going to
Right.
write a song about that.
Yep.
409.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
surfing was just like,
And they never surf.
they didn't really surf. It was like one brother, I think Dennis,
Wait, the
like
Beach
did
Boys.
a
Wait,
little bit.
wait a minute. The Beach Boys didn't surf.
Beach Boys didn't surf.
They didn't surf.
The fuck.
I didn't know that either.
No, they
Like
didn't
my
fucking-
world is shattered.
But it makes sense.
Yeah,
though.
they
I
didn't
think,
surf.
I think Dennis did, but like they grew up in Huntington Beach, so surfing was happening all around
Right,
them. But it was
right.
just like surfing at the time was a huge trend sweeping the nation.
Yeah.
And so they just jumped onto the trend and wrote music for kids that liked it.
It's also not like they weren't like referencing anything that surfers. If you listen to the lyrics, it wasn't. And I have never fucking surfed, so I don't know. But it wasn't like stuff. It wasn't like surfer references. You know, it wasn't the way that like Tom Petty talks about California. Mm-hmm. It was like, let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how.
Yeah.
They probably didn't go on a safari either, but they're like,
what?
Let's go surfing.
Yeah. From Del Mar to, and they just listed all the beaches.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But
It's really just
all
a
of us
reference
in
track.
Southern California, it's just like, they mention beaches that I've surfed at. And they mention
I know.
different beaches that like, that we go to. Like a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
the beaches I haven't been to, but a lot of them I'm like, I went there all the time and it's in the song.
Yeah.
They were smart.
No, make
They
no
were
mistake.
smart.
They nailed it.
They were
nailed it.
smart.
The weird one for me is they had a song about school spirit. I don't know if y'all have heard this one.
Be cool to your.
Be cool to your.
Be good to your school. Be cool to your school.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
be true to your school.
Be true to your school.
Be true to your school now.
Oh.
And it's like a school spirit song.
Yeah, it feels like they tried it and they didn't exactly
Be true to
miss,
your
but
school
the
now.
song didn't
But like years later, it's like not cool to have school spirit.
totally
But back in those like 50s era, it was cool. That was like
Yeah.
the cool kids.
go along to get along.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what
it's
it
still
was.
that's still living in colleges. There's still college spirit.
yeah,
It's less
yeah.
and less over the years now.
Because you don't have to go home to mom and dad after. You know,
True.
it's the the people that rule the people that rule the dorms or whatever or the I don't know.
The
What do you think
dorm
goes
room.
on
I
in
didn't
colleges?
tell you, but this I mentioned this house used to be all music businesses upstairs. Well, now it's a Vanderbilt fraternity
Wait. There's a frat above us right
above
now.
us right
Yeah.
now.
Do you think they like NSYNC?
No.
They've never
Well,
even heard of NSYNC.
hard to
They're
say.
like 17.
I'll bet you they know like bye bye bye.
They know bye. That's
Yeah.
true.
True.
But
But I
that's
bet they
it.
don't know
Bye-bye-bye.
the dance. And
They
I bet
don't.
every person in this room knows the dance.
Yeah. Weird detail about frats that I've learned from being under one. If they have like a particularly loud party, I can hear their music. They're not like playing any new music that I haven't heard. They're playing like shit from when we were in high school and
Right.
college.
You
is
know-
like
Right.
their main music.
Right.
I think that makes sense
That's
though,
dope.
because like I remember, I mean, I didn't go to college, but I know that like the music that I would always listen to with my friends was like 10 years before my time. Or like
Interesting.
so I was born in the 90s, but I would always like when I grew up, I liked listening to the 80s.
no,
that
me,
was my shit.
I always did too, but like at parties or like
yeah,
if
yeah.
I feel like they were listening to Eminem and when Kesha
Right,
came
yeah.
out there listening to Kesha and I love that stuff too, but like I was the kid they were like don't let Jake pick the music for a party because he's going to put on fucking Led Zeppelin or something.
It could
Yeah.
be the whole TikTok thing though, because there's a resurgence of old. Sorry, I'm choking on my throat. I do that sometimes when I get excited about things. No, but there's this resurgence of like old music that kids are now actually being able to like hear and listen to and appreciate, like Mazzy Star and
Totally.
and all of these really awesome old songs, like theme songs from Train Spotting and all this other shit. So it's just like, maybe they're just more woke now. Do people still say woke?
Yeah, but I don't
Probably
think
not
that's what it
about
means.
that, but I did. I was in Boston a couple years ago, and I went out with this girl, and we went to a couple bars. And then she was like, "There's this place down the street that always has live music, and there's a really great band they play like once a week." I was like, "Yeah, let's go check it out." And they were really good. They were college kids. They were kicking ass, and they played a couple covers and a couple originals, and then they were like, and I felt like we were the same age as the kids at the bar. But I wasn't really looking closely because the lead singer was like, "We're going to play a song now that you guys have probably all heard. I bet your parents played this song like when you guys were growing up." And I was like, "Oh, right on." And then they played Mr. Brightside.
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Oh, my God." We're, I mean,
Is that an
I
old
barely knew
song?
this girl, so I didn't say it, but I wanted to say, I want to be like, we're the parents. The fuck?
What's this band name?
What was the name of the cover band?
Yeah.
I
I want to know.
I don't remember.
I want to go stalk them and
They were
tell
good.
them it's not an old song.
Well,
It is. It's like,
But
what,
it is
it
kind of-
And
20
that
years
band went on
almost?
to be the Jonas Brothers.
yeah, no, shit, I don't remember what they were. I don't know. They were
It
good.
breaks my heart.
Have you seen? There's this There's this girl I follow on Instagram. Like, there's a million, but this girl, she does
Whoa,
these
Ryan,
like
a million?
NPRs.
Settle down with it, all right? You're
There's
engaged.
a million girls.
Yeah, there's just a million girls that there's this girl who does these funny videos, and one series she does is like NPR from the year 2050.
No.
Oh, my
and,
God.
And she's always like, that was Lil Jon with Aw Skeet Skeet Motherfucker.
Yeah, Terry Gross. That's so good.
And she goes through like, using the language of the time, the colloquialisms allowed him to explore the relationship between when your balls go to the wall.
Right. Till the sweat drops down your balls.
Yeah,
That
whatever.
was R. Kelly's Bump and Grind.
Exactly. And anyway, it's pretty genius.
I love
That's
that.
insane. You got to tell us her name when you can figure it
Yeah,
out.
I'll figure it out.
I want to
Just
see
one
that.
of a million girls that I follow. Sorry, babe.
She's funny, huh?
Yeah.
Funny, honey.
But before we get too much further
Oh, yes.
on, y'all want to play a song for
Yeah,
us?
let's do
We
it.
can diddle the diddy doos.
Sure, as they say.
Let's go diddle the diddy doos.
Okay.
So what's the first song we're going to be hearing?
It's called Know Better. It's our latest single. So it's about being an adult child. Pretty much.
It is.
I mean, honestly, like I wake up every day and I'm like, man, I should know better. I should know better. Like whether it's like, oh, I should have put my retainers in last night.
Are
Or
you-
I should have taken my contacts out.
Are you a girl woman or are you a lady baby?
I don't think I can answer that.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know. I am trapped in a woman's
I'm trying to
body.
process
I'm a teenager. In
I'm a kid
body.
guy.
I'm a kid guy.
You're a kid guy.
Kid guy.
I think I'm a lady baby.
I don't think that's the phraseology
No.
you want to use.
Oh my God.
and
nope,
that's
you're right. That's not.
the end of the Foxies.
Yeah, how do I
Fix that?
Man-child?
Nah, that's different. I'm a
Child
child man.
Oh, true.
a baby. Man.
No, there's no way to say that one without it being creepy.
Right. Yeah, the
She can
other
say
way
whatever
works
I'm a
fine.
woman.
You're
You
right.
say whatever you want.
You're right. Well, I need to figure this out because it is the truth. The truth is not that I'm a man baby.
Well, this song is about Jake being a kid guy. So I'll know better. Tell me the time. I think that I slept too late again. Try, but I can't escape this hammer in my head. So I'm running away. Show you how fast I can go. But I got all these sunshine blues, so I can't get out of bed. No, I can't get out of bed. Any day now, I could find a simple kind of life and down the drain this kind of weather. Cause I'm still waiting to know better. Scream out, open wide if it gives me peace of mind. Cause I make up my shit together, but I'm still waiting to know better. Taking the time, waiting for 6 p.m. Oh, like I got a place to be or somewhere, I don't know. So how many days and how many revolutions? What will it take to show me that I finally grown? Any day now, I could find a simple kind of life and down the drain this kind of weather. Cause I'm still waiting to know better. Scream out, open wide if it gives me peace of mind. Cause I make up my shit together, but I'm still waiting to know better. finally find out what they're for. I'm walking in a crooked line to see if I was left behind. Any day now I could find a simple kind of life, and down the drain this kind of weather, 'cause I'm still waiting to know better. Scream out, open wide, if it gives me peace of mind, 'cause I may got my shit together, but I'm still waiting to know better. I may got my shit together, but I'm still waiting to know better, know better. Oh, 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 oh,
And we're back.
Was that a question?
And we're back.
Are we really?
Are we back?
Okay,
Yeah.
seriously?
And we're back.
Oh no!
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Well, that was
was-
no better. And it was about you being a lady, child, man,
Kid
or something.
guy.
Kid guy. Yeah, I think everybody can relate to that. Everybody can relate to feeling like I should fucking know better.
Yeah, every day of my
Yeah,
life.
I'm just a little baby girl.
I wonder if you hit a point. Like, do we hit a point? Like, is there a certain age where you're like, nah, I pretty much am doing what I think I should do?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I like to think that, like, it's so funny. My grandpa would always tell me, he was like, honey, I feel like I'm 18 in my body. And I get it. I freaking get it. I'm like, yeah, you might be old on the outside, but that, what?
I feel old.
Oh, do you? Oh, I'm so
He's
sorry.
like, I'm pretty sure I know
I'm
better.
dying.
Become a kid guy.
Great advice from the Foxies.
Good way to rejuvenate your life. No, I am very bad at adult responsibility though.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like
Yeah.
like if it's something like big, if there's like a big thing I got to do, I'm great at that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's all the little stuff that gets me. It's the like pay my car registration on time.
Right.
Same.
Absolutely not.
Same.
No.
I pay that shit 8 months late every year. Like,
Check out this
Absolutely.
medical bill. You're like, oh,
Totally.
well, I'll wait 6 months from now.
right. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like, that was the teenager in me coming out. Sorry. Had a little voice crack there.
I don't think it's.
I think like you do eventually start to like if there's anything in the lyric that's probably more of a like a colloquialism, it's I think we do have our shit together more and more as you get older. But the arrival point of like now I know or now I'm an adult, that's the part that I think when I hear the song, I'm like, yeah, we're not there
No,
yet. Like
no.
I don't know if that place exists. I do think you can have your shit together in, you know, like it's like making the good cup of coffee and not screwing it
Oh
up.
my God,
Or
yeah.
like, you know,
it's real
showing
easy.
up.
Get it together, everybody.
Right.
Jesus.
Like, you know, we had our shit together. Like, you guys have your shit. We showed up on time for work today. We got it. But the notion of like when you get to be this old or when you make this much money or when you get married to this type of person or whatever, and you buy a house, whatever the heck the arrival point is, I don't really believe that exists.
I have a guess though. I think it's when you have a kid. I think that's the big one.
That's a good point.
I think that's
a good
part
point.
of it, but I don't know, man. I look back on my parents and like they had their shit together, but I don't know if they were
If
like,
they felt it.
I got it for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. I think we're all just fucking trying it out.
I think we're all
thought it-
children.
We are all definitely all children.
Raising children.
Now, I thought it would happen when I bought a house.
Right.
It did not.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe
You
a
just
kid.
have-
We'll
you
see.
just have
What's
your own
next?
place to
All
have
right.
parties in and stuff, and that's cool.
Right. Now it's just now I just have a bigger space to be lazy.
Just
Fuck
your
yeah.
dojo.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
I'm all about it.
I wonder too if being artists gives you a different or unique angle about this, because as an artist, like the way you remain fresh and coming up with new ideas is being just more open to the world. Like
Yeah.
being open to what might happen, being open to interpretation.
Cool.
I was Jury mentioned I'm engaged, so we were in premarital counseling earlier today.
Oh, nice.
And one of the things we talked about is I'm like, she like hates that it's very hard to pin me down to like put things on the calendar. Like I hate doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better, but it's really hard for me to plan something on a specific day 2 months from now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
rough.
Because
yeah.
I'm like, I have to be ready for like every opportunity that might come my way.
Exactly.
Because like
Exactly.
things have been more chill recently, but it used to be like I could be traveling to the other side of the country and not know that that's going to happen. And I have to be like open to those opportunities.
Yep.
I feel you on that. And I also think that like I have a problem with like what No Better really truly kind of hits on is just kind of like me trying to stop comparing myself to what I see other people accomplishing in their lives.
Right.
You know, and like I look and see tons of my friends from school that are having babies and having more babies and, you know, getting their third house or whatever. I don't know. But I'm just like, buying a yacht.
Yeah.
I see this and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But then I'm like, but hold up. I'm exploring the world and I'm doing it just in a reverse way. Like one day I will want that. One day I will want to do that. But I want to like enjoy the love with myself, doing what I love to do first. And I think that's what's keeping us young.
Yeah.
Jake.
I heard a wait, no.
New
No.
Jake.
I was gonna vamp or something.
I think I
No,
heard
go for
it.
it. Roll with it.
Shit.
Oh no, you want to go? Go.
I was gonna.
I'm here to hear you talk, not me.
No. Well, I mean, I think you're both totally right. I think I will say about the calendar situation, being in Nashville, and maybe this. I'm sure it works this way in LA. There are professionals out there in New York and whatever. But like here, there's such a music infrastructure, music business like flow. So as much as I do feel the impulse of like, you want to do what in March?
Yeah.
What was that? I don't know. But there's also like, I mean, we're booking our next, we just had a long phone call with our whole team today. Like we're booking the entire next year now. So I don't feel as, I feel like there's a good precedent for being an adult artist here.
Yeah.
And maybe that's everywhere. Like I actually,
Well, we booked this show.
right.
with
That's
you,
what I
like,
was going to
3
say
months
that.
ago.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
when you were, I was like, but we,
We've got the spirit.
Hey,
Heck yeah.
that
I love that.
works.
That was a good button push.
I haven't tried that one yet. It's really cute.
Yeah, and we do have 3 banks. I switched us to different banks, so
Oh,
the colors are all different now.
Oh,
yeah.
but
That was a great one to choose.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, like we booked this like months in advance, and that's kind of
right.
that's new for us as of like the last 6 months. We've always been like 3 or 4 months in advance.
Yeah.
And I heard from Charles, Charles, your manager, right?
Yeah.
I heard from Charles like yesterday, like, we still good? And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's on the calendar, of course. But like
I know.
that's I'm always, when we're booking people this far in advance, I'm like, I don't know if they'll remember by the time we get there, but so far we've only had like
Sure.
1 or 2 people ever be like, oh fuck, I forgot about that. And
No,
I'm like, I
we're-
get it. It was 4 months.
I think because, and Charles included, I think because all of the members of our band and our manager are all pretty like, we've got pretty independent artist lives as well as this thing that is our top priority. Like we don't cancel very often, but I will say in this fall, our schedule has been quite in flux as we've been restructuring some stuff. So we looked at the calendar and we were like,
oh shit!
wait,
oh.
there's this thing.
Does anyone remember even booking
We
this?
read up on this, but are we still doing this? And he was like, I'm going to follow up. But normally we're like, of course, and we got this thing tomorrow, and we got this tomorrow. We've been, and I think it's kind of like the thing we were talking about earlier about like being in the studio or being in the rehearsal room. Like everybody kind of holds each other accountable. Like, remember, you got this fucking thing to do. And we're like, no, I know, we're not canceling that. We're going to be there. You
And
know?
I do think Nashville's good at it. Like,
Correct.
we do, like, people do treat artistry here like a real job. And like, I'm surprised how often, like, most everybody on our show is like on time. Like, you guys were on time. Like, almost everybody's on time and like has their shit together. Like, Nashville does, I will say, like, we have some downfalls on the creative side and some things like we're working on. But like, as a whole, the professionality here is really high.
Yeah.
It's high. I think there's an infrastructure for artists to make it work here. And it's one of the things, I mean, everything changes, but it's one of the things that I've seen maybe change the least since I've been here is if you want a career in art or music, it's not like as easy as just go show up, but I do think it's as easy as like working your butt off, which is hard in LA and New York. to just work your ass off and make it work, I mean, you're still gonna be like grinding to make the ends meet. Where here, like, I don't feel like a piece of shit if I have a lazy day. Like, I recharge. You know what? That was good for me, and I'm gonna work my butt off tomorrow, and I have this on the calendar, and our band has given us all of this stuff, and like, yeah, no, I'm grateful to Nashville for that vibe.
I feel like LA's a lot more like has to be okay with artists show up 4 hours late for some reason
my God.
Sure.
and like slightly fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well, there are no 2-a-days in LA just because of how huge it is. Like sometimes I don't have a busy day. I work at home and then I do one other thing. But I had a busy day today and I did a bunch of stuff before coming here. And in LA, like when we go out there, it's like, what do we have time for today? If we really get up, we can go to the gym. But we will then probably rush to our session, which we will be.
which is fine.
We'll leave early. We'll arrive late. We'll do whatever we do.
But we're never 4 hours late, and that is another thing.
No,
like,
nothing like
if
that.
if I am 5 minutes late, I feel like such an asshole. I have really bad anxiety, so I'm like, if I'm 5 minutes late to anything, I'm like, oh fuck.
And that's how everybody should be, for the record.
I just truly, truly, truly want to respect everybody's time, and I think that is like so good here in Nashville. Like I've never been in a situation where somebody has just like been like, fuck you, Julia, you know?
Yeah.
And I think because the standard is that if somebody is late or if someone fucks up, like I've never felt it's an outlier. You know what I mean? And whether it unfortunately happens to you or whether someone's doing it coming to you, like everyone's always like, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't mean to completely wreck it. It's not like a, what are you talking about? I'm an artist and we're late everywhere.
Yeah, that's our vibe.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No, I'm a very time-focused
Me too.
person.
Totally.
I'm always thinking about the time. I can't get it out of my head.
Same.
And it drives everybody else crazy. Like Ryan hates it, I'm sure.
Sometimes.
After all the years.
Sometimes it's great. If I can rely on you, then, you know.
Like it's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's the flip side of it is I'll be on time.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a party, in which case you're supposed to be late.
Sure.
Right? Unless you're supposed to be late, I'll be on time.
I show up 5 minutes late to every party.
5?
Only 5.
She's early.
Is it hard
dog.
to do?
Fucking hard.
It's hard, isn't it?
Sometimes, though, I have gotten better at this. I will sometimes be 30 minutes late. Just depends who's there. It
Could you
depends
just
who's
When you
there.
really
make
wanna
sure
make
you
an
edit
entrance?
that out? You know what I
Okay,
mean?
I heard this thing. I don't know where I saw this. Probably some manipulative ass YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But it something the algorithms like want to become
One of your
manipulative.
girl
With Ryan
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
But I was like, oh fuck, I hope I can be this cool one day. It said when you really want to like make an entrance to a party and like show that you're important, you walk up to the door. Let the door open the door, whatever, and you don't cross the threshold at first.
What?
You take a look around the room as though you're considering whether this party is worth your time. You take a look around the room at who's there, scan, and then you kind of like, okay, and then you cross the threshold as though you've made a choice like, yeah, this is worthy of my time.
That's a mind fuck.
So you
It
just
is a
want to come
mind
off as
fuck.
an asshole?
No,
Like-
no, because what it communicates to everybody else in the party is like, oh, wait, it gives them time to be like, oh, who's this person? And there's this little pause like, wait, are they going to join us? And then like you approved of them and joined.
And it's
I'm
confidence.
Not, that sounds right, and I'm not disputing that. But
Yeah.
my only question to follow up is: have you ever seen that happen? And have you ever been the
No, but
victim of
wouldn't
that?
fucking Timothée Chalamet do that? Couldn't you picture him at
Don't
the
you
threshold of a door,
dare.
Totally.
like do that and kind of like step in? And then how much approval would you feel that he chose to join the party?
I will say,
I don't know that I have the balls to ever do that, but I want to be that cool.
He's already a
I-
famous actor.
Yeah.
but see, my problem
I hear you.
is I do that by accident because I walk into parties and I'm just a little too nervous to cross that threshold because I'm an insecure little bitch. so I walk in and I'm like, oh.
I think context is
Okay,
important. If you
it's
know,
time.
if you know everybody at the party, or I think if you're already in with the crowd, maybe you don't do that.
Yeah.
No, that'd be
But
super
I hear
weird.
you
That'd be
though.
real weird, yeah.
This
This
is
is
my
like
best friend. Do I need
you
to
don't
be
know
here?
anybody and you want to like make a scene. You want to like so
Or-
you like mind fuck them in reverse and
Yeah.
you're like you show like maybe I'm important.
Or it's
Psychology
somebody,
tricks.
who's figured it out, and they're trying to troll you guys. I saw a meme today that was like, I'm gonna do my best to quote it right, but it said something like, I don't know, but I know if I was a billionaire, I'd probably tell my competitors to get up at 4 a.m. every day too. You know what I mean? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, it was more funny than it was like, wait a second.
Right,
But
right.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean,
Shit.
Fair enough.
He ain't wrong. They ain't wrong.
I mean, I got up really early today, and all it did was make me more tired. No,
I did not. I slept in like a little piece of shit.
it was good to be up.
You're an artist.
I mean,
Well, I usually
She gets up early.
I get up super early. I make sure, like, I love getting up at like 6 or 7. I love it. Today I slept until 8. Wait,
That's
And
nice.
8 is, okay.
Yeah,
8
yeah,
is
yeah.
not sleeping in.
That's when I get up. Yeah, I get up at 8:30, 8.
know, but like
That's
I just
standard.
I laid there and I was like, how am I gonna get it down?
Here's what I'll say about the early grind. Getting up early is pain. It sucks. But being up early
Is awesome.
is so
Okay,
excellent.
but hold on. Let me ask you a question. Then.
Here you go.
So, okay, you get up early,
Uh-huh.
right? For whatever crazy ass reason people
love
justify.
It's the time guy. I'm shocked.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
You still have the same amount of time in a day.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
And so you're just getting less sleep.
Yes.
And that's worse than having less time because your time
No.
It
goes
depends on
okay.
if you go to sleep early.
But if you're getting, assuming you're getting, let's say 8 hours. No
Okay.
one's getting 8 hours here. Let's be real.
Sometimes
but-
I get 10 depending on my edibles.
Right. You're either going way up or you're going way down. Like no one's getting the standard 8 every night.
No, you've got a great point.
You know, you still get the same 16.
I'm
right?
I'm
It's true.
as someone that does I have like a 20-minute wake up window or whatever, and my alarm goes off at 8:30. So if I'm feeling the pain, I'll throw on another 10 minutes and get up at 8:40. If I'm really crushing it, I'll get up at 8:10. I feel you. That's why I chose that and not the 6 or the 7, because I'm like, dude, I'm usually working at 11 p.m. Like I'm usually like
Right.
finishing a couple things, or I'm cleaning the freaking house or whatever it is, and then I go to sleep after that. So I you're right.
I'm in bed by 9.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm a grandma baby bitch.
I don't think
she's a lady baby.
I'm a lady bitch.
9. I can't
Bed
imagine
at 9,
going
up
to bed
at 7.
That's you.
Well,
No, that's you.
like so I
a
love
10-piece. That's
getting my
10.
workouts done super early too. So like if I get it done first thing in the morning, I am happy. I'm good to go. I'm like, fuck yeah, I got the rest of the day to do whatever the fuck I want. Maybe I'll nap. and that because there's something I will say I think something's a little bit odd. Maybe I'm nocturnal actually, because I love seeing the sun rise.
It doesn't sound like you're nocturnal.
Listen,
Okay.
I haven't finished. I haven't finished yet. Excuse me. I love watching the sunrise. I hate the middle of the day. Hate when the sun is out. And then I wake back up like my body's rejuvenated when the sun
sun
goes
sets.
down.
Oh, yeah.
Same. I'm very much a
So
night person.
I
like that.
think
Sure.
that if I could have the sun just go bye-bye, I would be happy.
You'd be feeling it.
I'd be stoked.
Okay.
Except
Little
I feel
vampire
like
vibes, but all right.
Definitely.
I feel it's different on the West Coast. If I'm in San Diego or Los Angeles and the sun goes down and the city lights come up and you know that the sunset's different there.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
way.
No,
The sun goes down, lights come
It is
up.
different.
I'm like invigorated, like, oh right, here's the night. Like
Sure.
best example, number one place I've always felt exactly like what you just said is Disneyland. Disneyland,
Oh.
Well,
early
that's
morning.
because Disneyland's special.
Yeah, early morning Disneyland, you're like, you want to be there right when it opens up and you hear, you know, going down Main Street, you're like, it's incredible.
Right.
By the middle of the day, late afternoon, when it's just like only sun,
Yeah.
just like bright sun, you're just kind of, you get sort of tired and sluggish. But as you enter into
Yeah.
golden hour and then sunset, all of a
Yeah.
sudden you come back alive, it gets cool out and you're like ready for the nighttime.
Second
and you
wind,
leave the
man.
day on magic, on that second whim.
Freaking awesome.
I don't feel that way in Nashville.
Me neither.
When the sun
Well,
sets in
yeah.
Nashville,
Oh.
I feel like it makes me sleepy.
Oh yes, it has been.
you are. Yeah, I fully
Nashville's been that way.
true. I totally agree. I do think we are, and I'm not saying that we're the polar opposite, but we are absent a lot of that aesthetic beauty, whether it be
Yeah.
industrial like they have in maybe Los Angeles and New York, or if it's natural like they have in the coastal Los Angeles, or maybe where y'all are from. Like we don't really have that vibe, because I know what you described about the sunset in California.
Yeah.
I have that when I'm on the east. I'm from the East Coast, and
Yeah.
I have
Philly,
that.
right?
Yeah, I'm from Philly, and lived in Boston. My whole family's from New York. Like I have that feeling when the sun sets in the East Coast, but it's usually more like in the summer, like when it's warm out.
Yeah,
When it's comparable to, and I feel it. I'm not an LA hater, but I like to be there for a specific amount of time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like down to jet, but I feel it whenever especially the first like 48 hours, whenever we go out there to work, I'm like, I mean, I get why people fucking love this, man. This is.
I am an LA hater.
You are?
I think it's the worst place in the world and should be burned to the ground.
And you're from SoCal.
shit.
San Diego.
Right.
The good place in Southern California.
Yeah, so I feel like were you gonna say I was gonna ask a California question.
Yeah. I love
Who
I love
hates
California.
LA more, San Diego or like NorCal, San Francisco, Bay Area?
That's a good question.
Definitely NorCal. I
You think they hate LA more?
Oh, yeah. I mean, going to college, when I went to college with a bunch of NorCal people, all coming down saying hella like it's a California word. Get that shit out of my life.
Fuck.
It's not a
It's a
California word.
NorCal word, and those are two different states. The problem
Literally.
is, I heard it so much that I started saying it, and still to this day, I'll say it occasionally, and just like, I fucking hate that.
Oh my God.
But Southern and Northern California do not like each other. They think
Okay.
they're California, and they're wrong. They're
it.
practically Canada. All right.
I do want those
San
burritos though.
SF is pretty.
I'd give anything.
California, man.
I'm not a huge fan of San Francisco, but I hate LA.
I would give anything for a California burrito.
Oh my! There's two
hot
places
damn.
here.
We just
that
booked
do
a trip.
one right.
Cheap Charlie's?
Oh no, I don't know that spot.
Oh shit, their meat's really salty, but other than that, I love them.
There's
Have you been to Oscars?
Oscars Taco
Oscars.
Shop.
Yeah.
Oscars.
Because
Yeah.
the guy who started Oscars owns a taco shop in San Diego. That's how I learned about it. And then randomly, we were driving by in like what is the area? Maybe near Mount Juliet. I don't know National Geography well. East. And I was driving past the place and it said West Coast Taco, and I was
West
like,
Coast Taco,
I
yes.
gotta stop.
That's near Rob's house. We went there for lunch one day.
And that place was
like
pretty
Antioch.
solid.
Yeah, it is
That was the
Mount
closest
Juliet.
to like a taco shop
Oh
that I've found
shit,
here.
man! Now
That's-
I might have to get a burrito.
But they got
Yeah.
California burritos there.
We'll get burrito tonight.
Yeah, or McDougal's.
McDougal's
That's
is
gonna
right
make
there.
It's right
me-
there.
The other one burned down, didn't it?
It
The
did.
original location
The
burned
one,
down.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of. Wait, which
Oh,
one burned
Belmont?
down? Sylvan Park or
No, Belcourt.
it
That
burned
burned
down?
down.
Like what, 6 months ago or something?
No,
Maybe a
like
year
at
ago?
More
least
than
a
that.
year, at least a year.
Well,
6
this-
months ago, I was still on the hunt for it.
Guys,
I
let's
don't know
all
if they-
take a
but
moment
yeah-
of silence
Yeah,
for
for McDougal's.
Douglas.
I'm gonna jump back
Okay.
in because I am probably going to put some money in their pocket in like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna
good
burrito
chicken.
my. Yeah.
Well,
Not
we can
the best
burrito.
chicken strips in Nashville, though.
Wait, you were gonna ask
Whoa.
you had a California question.
That was it.
That was it. Okay.
I was
okay.
interested in who hated. I was gonna come back to the word hella just because.
Yeah.
Hella.
I don't know.
That's a NorCal word.
Oh, but it's a No Doubt song, and she's from
Hella good.
Southern California.
True.
What about Rad? What about Rad?
That's Southern
That's
California.
Southern
That's very
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah, we got Rad, we got Bruh.
I got that on my body. Stay
Rad.
rad.
Stay rad. I
Yeah,
love
me and
that.
my brothers and cousins, we have stay rad on our bodies in my handwriting. So I'm forever
Wow.
branding my family.
That's awesome. Did you guys all go do it at the same time?
Yeah, it's what we do every Thanksgiving, actually.
Did you get another
that's
one just
amazing.
now?
No, I was broke.
So not every Thanksgiving.
Not every Thanksgiving.
I like mini.
This
Thanksgivings.
was yeah,
at least
blackout.
one.
Blackout Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I love that. I think I have a more of a neutral opinion about LA. I think I have a lot of great memories there.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, I was going to move to LA after college for recording engineering, and every time I went up and tried to like feel it out, I just felt like I was going to be like really alone in a city where that has such a priority on showing. I think LA feels like everybody has to look better than they are and fake it till you make it until you
Totally.
like impress everyone enough and you really are someone.
Totally.
Yep.
And I just can't play that game.
It's not fun.
My personality fits the Nashville way better. To me, the Nashville way is like the most successful people here are the least likely to tell you that they are, and they won't tell you their accomplishments because like if you're in that club of having accomplishments, like you're not trying to advertise it. Like you're okay.
Yeah.
And so when I came here and investigated, I was lucky enough to have like a few meetings. We mentioned Ben Folds' studio earlier. One of the meetings I had was with his manager. At the time, she just managed the
Sharon.
studio. Sharon. Yeah, do you know Sharon?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So
Sharon.
I had a meeting with Sharon, and she set me up with a few other people, and there was a guy who played in the Time Jumpers, if you know who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Gill's band.
Yeah.
Really, it's not even Vince Gill's band. Vince Gill is also in the band.
Yeah, no, I know them. Yeah, anyway.
And so, like, a guy from that band, and I met a few other meetings like that, where it was like people who had real shit going on, and they dressed normal, talked normal, treated me nice.
Yeah.
Everybody was encouraging. Now, might be a little different now, but back in 2012 or 2011, they were all like, "Move here, you have to come."
Yep.
And it was very like, these people were very normal. They have families, and they were not trying to impress me, even though they had impressive credentials. And it was very normal to be like, "Oh yeah, Ben comes here and works at the studio, and we work with him all the time."
You let the work speak for itself.
Yeah.
I heard something a couple years ago. Confidences are quiet and insecurities are loud.
That's so true. Well, and see, like, I mean, whenever we go to LA, I don't mind visiting. I like visiting for a little bit, but it gets to a point where I'm like, man, how do you be your true, authentic self here?
Yeah.
It's a very scary thing to do, and that's what I've noticed. Like, for me, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's just intimidating. It's intimidating. It's scary. It's like everybody's flaunting their fucking shit, and and that's nothing bad on LA. Like, I like visiting, but I could never live there because I don't know. Like, for my mental health, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna hide in a bunker for like years.
I just think I could only be happy if I hit the point in my career where I'm like wealthy and self-assured and I can control my world and I don't have to like try to prove something to anybody. I feel like at that point, if I have just millions of dollars in the bank and I can just live exactly where I want to live and pay for everything.
Totally.
And I don't need to impress anyone anymore, then I could just like do me in that city.
But
Right,
would
that's
you
what I'm-
choose to live there?
Well, I mean, whatever. Sure, I feel you.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm. But that's kind of what I'm saying about Nashville. Like, you can say it the way that I said it, which is like, there's an infrastructure for independent art. Like, it's a good place to eat shit. Nashville is a good place to eat shit. I do not want to eat shit out in LA.
What do you mean by that again?
Like, we're an independent rock band.
Oh, got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, depending on how tour season is going, depending on how records are either streaming or getting synced or whatever, like, sometimes it's a rough time for our band. Like, we're a working class rock band. And I'm a working class artist. Like, I might speak for anybody else, but, like, you know, I have my work. And it's chill here. I'm not, no one's coasting. Like, we have things we strive for, but people know us here. We have fans here. We have lives. People are generally pretty nice. Like, we can put up shows. Like, there's work to be made. There's work to be had. And I'm not saying that it's a total scarcity in LA, but like at a certain point, it comes down to real estate, or it comes down to like, it's not about politics, but it's about gas prices and about how expensive things are. And like, what you said, that's always how I've felt about LA. And it's unfortunately how I've kind of, I don't feel that way about New York, but it's how I've thought about New York, which is like my favorite place.
Mine too.
But like, I've thought about it before where I'm like, yo, I don't want to eat shit there.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather eat shit there than in LA because like my heart is in New York. But it's like, yo, I mean, what we have here for the moment and is still pretty like sustainable as an artist living an artist's life. My whole thing was like, I'm going to move to New York. I was all about the singer-songwriters and punk rock bands that came out like right at the crash of the millennium. I was like, I'm gonna live the bohemian life in Alphabet City, and like, okay, good luck, man. Like, it's like
$5,000.
I was gonna say, come
apartment.
on.
You're like, not bohemian anymore.
It's just not what it is. Where here you can got recording studios in our basements. Everyone's got and you've got space, you know?
Right.
Anyway, it's just hard to eat shit in some of those major cities.
And in those major cities, like, you're playing with billionaires around you. Like, does Nashville probably have some billionaires? I'll bet. But they don't want to be known. Like, they don't want us to know them. And they want to like live in peace on some weird estate that like we can't even see from the road.
Totally.
And it's about privacy. Whereas like in LA, it's about like you live in Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Malibu. You live in an area where like tourists can literally drive past your house and know who you are. And you're trying to like, there's just a lot more of like you're
Look at
having
me.
to show
Show
you're having
everything.
to use your money to show
Showing
that you're
shit.
important
Yeah.
to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing on that level, to have to compare your life at all times to like celebrity billionaires is
It's
like
the comparison
no fun.
crap. That's
Yeah,
no cool.
that weighs literally anyone and everyone down. And like it's just like, come on, it's not needed. Like the comparison shit. It's like, okay, cool. If you want to flaunt yourself, go ahead. But at the same time, like, don't feel like you have to. And in Nashville, like I personally feel that like I love coming back home to Nashville.
Right.
I love calling Nashville home. I love coming back home. I don't like being here all the time because
Same.
I feel like Nashville, as amazing as it is, and it is my home, I feel that it is very easy to get comfortable here. So you got to constantly keep yourself on your toes and constantly be like, okay, what's my next move? What's my next step? What's my next tour? What's my next thing? To continue to like keep the ball rolling, you know? And maybe that's just like my anxiety and ADHD in me, but I feel like it's very easy to call this home and comfortability. Like be comfortable with where you're at.
You can
Yeah.
get complacent.
Yes.
That's one of the pitfalls that like they probably don't have that in LA.
Dude.
Maybe
Yes, they
if
do.
mom or dad are paying for your bills and stuff, maybe you have that in LA. Maybe you have that in New York.
Right. But if
But
you're
it-
complacent for like a week, you're homeless.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's that's sort of the double-edged sword of
And
Nashville.
everything's in your face there in terms of like the
Totally.
latest billboard for the latest show and just like
Oh my god, a fucking latte with a CBD shot is goddamn $15.
Yeah, $20 matchas.
I
out
did
there.
that once by accident. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm never getting CBD in my coffee ever again.
now you were mentioning Julia, you were mentioning earlier about like being yourself and like mental health. Do you feel
Yeah.
like you can be yourself in Nashville? Do you feel like it's a conducive environment to that? Or do you feel more like yourself when you're on the road? Or
Oh.
how have you worked that out? Like, doing music on, with
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok and everything else, you constantly have to be in the public eye in one way, but in another way, you're just literally a person.
Yeah.
Like, how do you walk that line of figuring out how to be yourself and also having like a public side?
That's a lovely question because it's a very difficult thing, and I think I'm still trying to figure that out. I think every day is just kind of like you're trying to figure it out. But I feel that coming to Nashville and not being like from here, coming here, I was like, oh, we're breaking this band in 2016, and it's like I can be whoever I want to be. I was just coming out of some crazy shit back in Phoenix and Brooklyn. I was like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And now it's like I've gotten so comfortable with being me, and I am such an introvert. I can turn it on and be like, let's go party, bitch. But I thrive being an introvert. And sometimes I find, actually a lot of the times, I find myself in ruts and only in Nashville because I am home. And I'm comfortable. And I am exactly who I am supposed to be. I am my true authentic self. But when there is no challenge there, I feel like I'm lacking in working on myself. So I have to be on the move. I have to be on the road. I have to be on tour. I have to be doing something productive with my music. Because if I'm not happy. So like in these moments of downtime and these holiday times and all this other stuff, I'm very much trying to really keep my mental health in check and keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Work a lot, work out, stick to a routine. Because that's the biggest thing that I found for me is like when I have a routine, I'm happy as well. So, but to answer your question, I am the happiest when I'm on the road and when I'm on stage and when I'm in Nashville, I'm like, well, I have settled. I'm done. Great. Where's my future husband? God damn it. Maybe I'll get a fucking dog, which I did in the pandemic. I love him.
What
Ziggy.
kind of dog?
He's for the longest time, I thought he was a doggo Argentino.
Really?
The more I got to doggo
So it's-
Argentino.
So it's a big dog.
Wesley, can you bring up whatever that is?
Doggo
Yeah.
Argentinos
Doggo
are like,
Argentino.
they're a big, scary dog.
Yep, he's a big boy. He's
They're
a big
one of the
boy.
strongest dogs in the world. There's like
He's-
videos of them pulling jet planes.
It's
and shit.
insane how strong my Ziggy is. And he's with my ex, actually, because my ex has a big backyard, and my ex is the perfect doggy dad. So, but yeah, that's little Ziggy. He's more,
Oh, wow.
he's more of a, he's got more of like a pit, like bully face, but other than that,
I
like
love a pit bull.
they're just the sweetest.
They're so sweet.
They are so sweet and so kind.
You said for the longest time you thought he was a dog Argentino. Does that mean you think he's something else now?
No, I did one of those face scanner apps on like what is
Yeah.
my dog?
Yeah.
And it said that he was a dog Argentino. I was like, fuck. And then
That's wild if that is the
I
case, because
know.
they're not common by
They're
any means.
not at all.
And they
That
they
one
need
looks
like
like
a
a
strong
gargoyle.
trainer, because they have a habit of, or they have a tendency to be a little more protective, a little more aggressive.
Very protective. They need to be outside 24/7.
They were bred to like hunt bears or some shit like that.
They
Yeah.
are insane.
Yeah, they're
and
nuts dogs.
when I got Ziggy, I was like, oh my God, what did I get into? Because I have a little studio apartment, and they said that he was a year old. That was a fucking lie. This dog was maybe 5 months. He grew another freaking foot, and I was like, God, fucking shit. And got bigger muscles. And me and my ex, we parted, but, he's like, I'll take Ziggy. I got a big backyard. And I was like, yes. Because now he can run, and he can be his, true, authentic self.
Yes. Do you have visitation rights?
I do.
That's
I
awesome.
don't get to visit much because he's a little bit further out, but I need to visit him soon. He's the sweetest little boy. He just wants his butt scratched and to lick your face, and he's happy.
I mean, all the dogs that are like more aggressive that people say are more aggressive.
Oh, my God.
Which some dogs are. Generally, those
Yeah.
breeds are more aggressive for sure.
Totally.
But you know which one's not generally more aggressive? Pit bulls.
Dude,
Pit bulls are not an
you,
aggressive breed.
Yeah.
They just
Now they're
want
chill.
to be loved.
They do. They just want to cuddle.
They just want to cuddle and
And-
be happy.
And in the early 1900s, they were actually used to guard children because they were so gentle. They were actually, the nickname of pit bulls was the nanny dog.
Yeah.
And then that changed in the 80s when like metalheads started cropping their ears,
Of
cutting off
course.
their tails, which I believe is animal abuse.
Oh my God, that makes my heart so sad. Like,
And then they were terrible owners, and so they ate a couple
yeah,
kids.
of fucking course. Because your owner is the
couple
spawn
kids.
of fucking Satan.
Right, it's
That's
the owner's
why.
fault. It's not the dog's fault.
No.
Pit bulls
No.
are adorable and delightful.
It is the owner's fault, and I will always say that.
100%.
Speaking
No bad
of
dogs.
the spawn of Satan, on Thanksgiving. So I did Thanksgiving at his house because
Yeah, my poor
brother-in-law.
Spawn of Satan. I don't think we had that
Satan.
there.
Well,
My dog is Heladorbs, all right?
yeah, not your dog. I opened my Facebook, which I don't use Facebook a lot, but I use it for Facebook Marketplace religiously.
Yes.
And I went in,
Yes.
and every so often, you like hit. Nobody uses it for social media anymore. Old people do, but you accidentally click like friend request and see that you've had like 25 people request you.
Yep.
And so I went and I saw, and there was this one person named The Chosen One.
What?
And I was like, The Chosen One. So I clicked their thing.
Was it
And-
LeBron James?
No. It was this guy who I think lives in Canada, and he had like this full-on, very druid robe, and he had like some sort of like little jackalope ear headdress.
Thank God.
And I'm like scrolling through, and then he has like casting a resistance spell or something. And I'm like, okay, is this a witch? Is this a druid? What is this person requesting me? Who is the chosen one? And then I come across this one post from him, and it's like him and some other similarly garbed people, some little other witch kind of looking people. And it was like, have you always wanted to find success, power, and fame? Like, no one just gets that on their own. You need to join the Illuminati. Call now. And then had like a 1-800 number that you could call to apparently join the Illuminati.
What the hell is even that?
I'm glad.
You have the gift.
And he had multiple posts like this.
Yeah,
so
that is not the real Illuminati.
Dude, that's
I don't
my
know. They
don't have a
family,
number.
man.
I'm thinking I finally have like achieved enough in my career that the Illuminati's like, yeah, he's ready.
Honestly, like it is crazy.
You might be ready.
I go down on the conspiracy holes
Let's
on
go,
yeah.
TikTok
Let's
when
go.
I'll eat my gummy and it's like an hour in and it's only 9 p.m. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, whoa, the Illuminati and like what, the Detroit airport or something? Or where
Denver
what?
Airport?
Denver. I knew it started with a D.
Yeah.
Denver airport with the horse and the devil eyes and stuff.
What?
What?
I don't know
like-
about that.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, dude, that's like a.
That's the thing that's
that's
in the
a-
airport.
And I love them.
It's
I love
either
conspiracies.
Illuminati or Freemasons. Are they the?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought about
I don't
being a
remember
Freemason
the
at one
lore,
point.
but yeah.
My family has Freemasonry ties.
I think
And
mine
so
did
I know that
too,
makes
but I
me
can't-
eligible, but, well, you couldn't join. You're not allowed. It's men
'Cause
only.
I'm a woman?
Oh, is it?
God damn it!
They do have a.
What if I said I had a penis?
They don't care.
Then you'd be lying.
They're also real racist.
Oh my God!
Are they
Yeah, I
really?
don't want to be a
Well,
Mason.
we went to.
They don't care.
Well, I went to a Mason. So I knew my family
Yeah,
had ties.
they're misogynistic and racist. Do you really want to be a part of this
No.
group?
But I also know. I mean,
Sounds like you
they're
might,
kind of a cult, right? They're a cult.
Yeah.
But I was interested in, and I was in Virginia with my wife at some point, and there was like this Freemason house doing like an open house. They were giving out free burgers, and I was like, oh, let's go check it out.
They had burgers.
Yeah. And so we go and like take a tour of the Freemason house, and they had like pictures on the wall of other houses, and it was all white people. And so my wife asked,
Yep.
which, because, you know, she's bold. And so she was just
She's
straight
bold,
up
yeah.
like, she just was like,
No
are
shame.
black people allowed in the Masons?
And what'd they say?
And he got real defensive. And he was like, they are, of course. They have their own chapters. And I was like, Jesus.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
Wait, they real?
That's what they
real.
said. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I was
Wow.
like, holy shit. But they also have chapters for women. They're called like the somethings of Freemasons, like for the wives of Freemasons.
Wow.
It does make
It's
me
a
wonder.
weird-
Like,
It's
It
really-
probably is the maidens of the Freemasons.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's got some fancy name. What's can you look up the name
Was
of
that
that?
not
Wes?
fancy?
Maidens of the Freemasons.
Okay.
No, they're called like the I don't know, like the Daughters of Eve or something.
That's
like
really.
that.
I mean,
The Daughters of Eve.
I mean, that's probably not it.
at the risk of getting too topical, like that is kind of like that funny intersection where you're like, that sounds like a comedy writer wrote it.
Right.
Right.
really does.
Like that's a joke in a
Yeah.
that's like in Anchorman 3.
Yeah.
Oh, do you allow black people in the Freemasons? And they're like, of course we do. They're right over there by them fucking selves. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Freemasonry for
Oh, no,
women.
there was like another name
HFAF.
of it, but it may be something different
HFAF.
now.
The Order of Women Freemasons, HFAF.
Wow. I do wonder about that though, because it's like I remember hearing about Freemasons when I was a kid, and like, don't they wear the thingies on their head? The
Oh, I don't know.
oh no, maybe that's the bingo man.
I don't know the bingo man.
I really want to know. I don't want to know exactly
They-
who Julia is confusing Freemasons for right now.
It's the okay.
bingo
I
man.
remember seeing. Okay, we're gonna have to figure this out because I remember seeing when I was a kid, all the old men would have this red felt cap with a little
like
tassel.
a fez? A fez.
Oh, the fezzes?
What is a fez? What is a
like
fez?
the Turkish sort of.
Yeah,
That's got to be the hat you're describing.
It's
the order-
Red felt hat
the
with a
order
tassel.
of-
The red kind of.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks literally
Give
like.
us a
It
picture
looks
of a
like a
fez,
red
Wes.
solo
yeah,
cup.
yeah.
A fez.
It's the fez.
Oh.
Yeah, who wears the fezzes?
Aren't they Turks?
Yeah, I think that's where
Turkish?
in
Or-
my mind that's what it's
I
associated with, but
saw
I don't know.
so many old men in Louisville, Kentucky, where I was born. I saw so many old men wearing those, but
You were born in
Louisville.
Louisville?
Yeah.
Where they make the baseball bats? The Louisville
Oh.
Sluggers?
I love that.
I used to say
Louisville.
somebody said Louisville, and I was like, you got me kidding
even I'm
me.
not okay with that.
But no, all the
It's
old
actually
men.
Louisville.
Oh,
Yeah, they say Louisville.
it was not a fez hat. I know it wasn't a
wasn't?
fez
Oh.
hat because these
Okay.
were all old men
Okay.
with glasses, and it was a tinier hat. And
Yeah,
it,
there's
it-
like
it
the
showed-
Elks
Oh
is
wait,
a thing.
I think I know. I like almost have like a vague picture in my head of like I've seen what you're talking
Can
about.
we Google the Freemason hat?
Yeah, Freemason.
The
hats.
I don't know if it's
Yeah, I would say
Freemasons.
hats.
I will say I also
Freemason
Could be
hat.
the Shiners.
I don't want to say who, but
Freemason hat.
we have me and my sister have a family member who was very, very successful
Yes!
in life. Is that like that?
It's the red one.
The red
No,
one.
the top left.
Top
She's-
left.
Yeah, that bottom guy is literally the dude from Indiana Jones who got his face melted. Am I right? Isn't that
Yeah, it
him?
looks like him.
See, I
Oh,
remember those
yeah.
hats being a kid.
Yeah,
The
who-
old man.
Oh, interesting.
The
Maybe it is Freemasonry.
Masonics. It says Masonics. Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if I actually really saw that in person or if it was like in a book
Who knows?
or something.
My sister and I have a family member who was very, very successful in their life in terms of like finances and regarding the community and all that stuff. Like huge pillar of the family and community. And then like several years after they passed away, another family revealed to us that they were like a high order in the Freemasons.
Oh my God.
High
And
degree.
I'm like, this
Dis-
person was
Disney
not
was.
religious or didn't seem to be into woo-woo stuff at all. Very
Yeah.
Greatest Generation, served in World War II, very like practical.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense with anything I knew about them when they were alive. But now I'm like, were they only successful because they were a Freemason? Like, are they actually
thinking
pulling the
about that,
strings?
you're like,
It's primarily a fraternity, like for the most part. It's just it's 90% just dudes hanging out.
how many of the dudes are there? How many Freemasons?
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Freemason house in every city.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly. I think that my great uncle Henry was a Freemason. If I'm not kidding, he was missing a couple of his toes, but I think he was a Freemason.
I mean, it's possible.
I think it was that. That was the hat.
6 million? That's way more than I thought. If you had said 100,000, I'd have been like, yeah, I could see 100,000.
lot.
I'd say that's the biggest cult right now.
But yeah, like they're
But like any good cult, that
Mm.
it's long lasting.
they're
They,
like Nashville.
no.
You
They
know-
don't go
Yeah, you're
around
right,
advertising.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
but they like they do good in the community and crap because every cult that's long lasting has to, or, or else they get shut down.
They're the ones
But they're
holding out
they're
the change
rough.
buckets.
Are they really?
Are they? It might be.
Oh,
They're
I
collecting
mean, they
money
do a
for
lot
the
of
children.
charity
God.
stuff. You know,
I'm unlocking a fever dream from when I was like 8, but I remember seeing a Freemason on the side of the road holding a
that's very possible.
change bucket
yeah.
near the church.
Collecting
Yeah,
money
I-
for
I
the
It might
Sure.
also
Yeah.
just have been like an usher for the church.
I will say though, my family had a Freemason sword that was like a family heirloom.
Oh my
Excalibur.
god!
And my grandma had it, and she gave it to my cousin Travis, and he thought it was evil because it's Freemasonry and threw it away.
He threw it away.
Threw it away.
No, you gotta hang that shit up.
Yeah, I'm still this was like 20 years ago. I'm still mad about
Travis,
it.
bro,
Because I
come on.
wanted that fucking sword. If you're listening to this, Travis,
Travis.
ah!
Travis, that sword is gonna come back and haunt Travis.
I
No
hope
joke,
so.
because it was evil. And
It was evil.
I don't care if it's evil. Give it to me. It's family
But
heirloom.
see, that's the best thing to do, though. If it's evil, you have to keep it contained.
yeah. And on
Keep it
display.
contained.
I thought the saying was if it's evil, set it free.
Isn't
that what it was?
Just
If you
set it free.
if you evil
if
something,
it loves you, it'll come right back.
If you love me.
if you know,
That's what you're
I
looking
like you. You have balls. I like balls.
dude, let's go.
I'm telling
Team
you.
America? No,
for. Is that?
yes,
Is it Team America?
right?
I haven't seen that
Like
in,
your
since it
balls.
came out. Like,
I like balls.
It's got to
Wait,
be from
is it
Team
Team
America.
Balls?
It is.
Yes.
It is. It's when it's when he's. Oh my God, this is awful. He's impersonating the radical Islamic terrorist because he's an actor.
Yeah.
And the guy's
Act
wearing the
Gary.
party hat. Right? Yeah. Act Gary.
I
Of
haven't
course, Durkistan.
Seen it. I haven't seen it. I have no idea what we're talking about.
You haven't seen this?
it's like
Oh
a
my gosh.
20 year. It's like 20 years old.
It's a
What is it?
very.
It's from the creators of South Park.
It's yeah.
And those guys had a real track record. I feel like they've kind of fallen off, like not as relevant anymore.
Yeah.
But
They just haven't really done anything since Book of Mormon.
yeah.
But they did the Book of Mormon.
They tried to do some like COVID episodes,
Oh, sure.
but I felt like they were always like a little bit behind the ball. But for the longest, and it's probably like due to not being able to work and their studios being impacted by COVID itself. But
Yeah.
for the longest time, they were like, something happened in the news. Like I remember when Obama was elected,
Unbelievable.
like the next day they had an episode that just fucking killed and referenced what happened the night before because they kind of made it to go both ways based on whoever got elected, and then they put a few specific details in.
Oh, wow.
But they just nailed the parody, and they've got like you remember the Obama speech, like after he got elected, was like, "Yes, we can."
Yep.
The next day, they had an episode where Randy Marsh is getting drunk in the streets, going like, "Yes, we can,"
Yeah.
and they're just all using it as an excuse to get drunk and like not really attached to the message. Like they would just do brilliant satire within
It's so
24-hour turnaround.
I have no idea how they do that.
The one of the
Legends.
yeah, there are so many. I mean, the legendary episodes of South Park could go on and on. But
Safe
there's
Space. That's
there-
my favorite one.
yeah,
Safe
that
Space?
no that
In
one.
my
That you know,
safe space.
I haven't seen that one.
In my safe space.
I mean, they kill everything. They've got one called Golden Ticket, where
In my
Cartman
safe
figures out
space.
that if you, it's awful. If he figures out if you tell people you have Tourette syndrome, you can say whatever you want,
That's my brother.
right? And he just goes. I mean, he's
But he
it's-
does have Tourette's, though.
Oh, does he?
He does.
It's insane. But there's one. That one is definitely if you want to like hear some horrible shit, because that's all he does is just
Right.
says horrible shit the whole time.
Oh.
But there's one that like I think it's underrated. So I've never seen the movie High School Musical.
Me
but-
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, everybody else has.
Have you?
But apparently,
Yes.
apparently, the main kind of point is that Zac Efron is a really good basketball player because, of course,
Troy Bolton. It's Troy Bolton.
and all he wants to do is like sing and act and be an artist. But
He's amazing.
his dad is like, no, like we are men.
We are men. We play sports.
We play sports, which whatever.
Sure. It's a little
And,
bit of a
He wants to let
tired
his
trope.
freak
And then-
flag fly.
Right, and he does that, and that's the show. So South Park, I forget the name of the episode, but they do the exact same thing, except this boy just wants to play basketball. And his father is like the most flamboyant, like overruling, like waiting for Guffman type of like, no, we are actors and you're an artist.
I think I saw that one.
Oh my goodness. And they do, I've seen, it's not like I've never seen any moment of High School Musical. So they'll have this like big, huge production number and they're dancing in the aisles of the classrooms and on the stairwells of the hallways. And it's this big, huge da-da-da-da-da. And then the song ends and he just walks away. Like,
He just wants
he
to
just
play
wants to
ball.
ball out. Like, and his dad's like, no, you will not play any of that
Is it
basketball.
Cartman?
No. It's like it's the new kid. It's literally High School Musical. It's like the new kid in school,
Oh.
and it's like the new hot kid. That's why it's very underrated. Is that Cartman and they're all side characters for this
this,
episode.
No.
I'm pretty positive
That's really
that
cute.
it's like just a rando, and it's just
Yeah. I've never been a fan of South Park, to be honest. I feel like I'm the only one.
You are.
you
But
are, dog.
I am a fan of things made by the creators of
Yes.
South Park, but the best one by far is
Cannibal
Cannibal the Musical. Yes!
Man.
Cannibal the Musical is the best shit I've ever seen.
I don't know this.
It's called Cannibal the Musical.
Somebody
and
eats somebody.
It's pretty much in the
Sky
name.
is gray and all the
That's what
leaves
he's
are
like,
green.
That's right. The sun's as warm as a baked potato. I mean, he's like, these dudes are. It's what made Book of Mormon so not easy. I mean, it's a musical. It's freaking crazy, but it made it so like effortless for them. Is they're these two like outcasty, sort of punk rocky kind of artist theater-y kids from Colorado.
Yeah.
They knew all these Mormons. So Cannibal the Musical was probably right in line. It's these dudes on the back of a horse. And,
Yeah,
anyway.
it's
Wait, Cannibal the
incredible.
Musical. Is this a real musical or is this part of South
It's a
Park?
film.
No, it's a movie, a live action movie that's a musical about traveling from wherever they were to Breckenridge.
Oh my God.
And
Kinda like Donner Party-ish,
It's like very
right?
Donner Party. They end up they become
Very
cannibals. But it's a
Dahmer Party?
Donner.
Oh, Dahmer Party would be fun.
Well,
Did
I mean,
you guys
the
learn
Donner
about the Donner
Party,
Party in
isn't
school?
better.
Was this only West Coast
Do you know
education?
the Donner Party?
No, I don't.
You don't know the Donner
It's
Party?
like
What's Donner
hardcore
Party?
third grade
Fucked up.
California
I don't think I
history.
learned about it in school.
It was
you-
a group
of course you did,
It was a
'cause-
group of travelers who were traveling west and got caught in winter and had to. It's a real true story, and
Yeah.
they resorted to cannibalism to stay alive.
So
Oh my
that's what.
God.
Yeah, it's like a big story.
Did they try to eat
Very-
bark and stuff first?
I mean, you'd have to ask them.
I think they started with flesh. They're just like,
Just day
we'll
one.
work our way down.
They knew.
Yeah.
They knew their
Holy
fate.
Yeah, this
shit.
is like
That's
we learn a lot
fast.
about the
Such a
Oregon
famous
Trail
story.
Oh my
in
God.
California.
I'm sure I've heard about it, but it's something that like I didn't know it by the name, the
Yeah,
Donner
yeah.
Party. But
They very much underscored it for us. Like, you will need to know about this for life. It didn't matter, but
Yeah, why did we learn so much about the Donner Party?
I
in
don't
the
know.
West
But they
Coast?
made a big deal about it.
and it happened in the yeah.
I mean, it was 1800s or whatever, probably.
Oh,
They wanted to
Oh.
come
It
get
was not
gold,
modern
but
day.
instead they ate each
Oh.
other.
It was like settlers.
see, I'm thinking of like 1994.
I think it was some
People are
some
eating
guy in
each
his
other in a
minivan.
minivan.
It's like 1894.
I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fuck.
Yeah. It's
God
settlers of the
Damn,
West.
that's why I'm asking. I'm like, man, did they try to eat bark first? Did they try to eat some leaves? Berries?
Yeah. Did they just go to Whole Foods? What's
Oh,
going on?
God damn it.
That's a very like
No.
very
Nobody
Karen,
called
like,
somebody? I
Why
don't-
didn't they just go to Whole Foods?
They should have said Whole Foods.
Did
That's
they not have
crazy.
a budget for that?
But
Oh, there you go.
speaking of killers, Jack the Ripper. What's
Yeah.
your
Oh, what a
take on him?
badass.
Because there are
Whoa.
so
I don't
many.
have one.
Oh, okay.
I
You don't
want
have a
to. I want to
take?
come up with
Who
one
are
now.
you? You don't have a take on
What's your
Jack the
take
Ripper?
on Jack the Ripper?
What's
Yeah.
your take
Well-
on Jack?
Do we have a theme song for this?
Yeah.
Well, there needs to be one.
Eeny, meeny,
Oh, I'm excited for this.
miny.
I'm so
Jack
excited.
the-
got to be really good.
Deep Blue? No.
Vincent Price, baby.
It's that time where we discuss Jack
Yes.
the Ripper
So wait,
every week.
So what's your take on Jack the Ripper?
Well, I'm asking this like Because there are so many theories that he was actually H.H. Holmes or H.H.
Right.
Yeah, H.H. Holmes.
That's what I've heard.
So there's like this theory about him like leaving London or the UK and coming to America and doing that crazy fucking death hotel. But it just makes me wonder. I'm like, they never found him. One, and even like back then that was fucking hard to do. Like you
Wesley,
could disappear.
can you pull up H.J. Holmes or whoever she said?
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes.
You would know him from an episode of Supernatural.
Oh.
Because they did the his murder hotel
Yeah.
in that, which
Or
is
American
which
Horror
I did not
Story.
know was true, and then I found out that shit was true,
Right?
and I was like, "There's
It's
no,
insane.
it's insane.
And
This is
he-
a death trap hotel."
And it was in Chicago. It was in Chicago.
Oh,
This
really?
man had this it was literally a death hotel. Literally so many traps, nooks, and crannies.
to like trap people
to
in the
keep people
walls
and
and capture
keep
them,
them
kill
there.
them.
Really?
Yeah,
and everybody thinks that it is Jack the
that
Ripper.
he was Jack the Ripper. I mean,
Well, if everybody thought that.
well, very well could be.
Could be Jack the Ripper. And I
was
like to
executed.
think, I'm a little suspicious, so I like to think that this might be Jack the Ripper.
It looks like they have some pretty solid proof that this guy was born in America.
Well, man, this is Wikipedia, too, so.
Yeah, all right.
Well, but I'm just saying.
on Wikipedia, but yeah,
Just
yeah,
saying.
that's possible.
why I said solid. I mean,
But no, I
nothing's a
get it
fact.
completely. That's
Nothing's a fact.
I look at
Technically.
that.
Feels like that now. Huh?
I look at that fact and then I act like I don't see it. So.
Yeah.
Some accounts estimate his body count could be as high as 133 or even 200.
Making one of the most successful
But
serial killers of all time.
That's body count in the
Amazing.
most technical definition.
But it
He
says
fucked
the way you see it on
187 women.
TikTok, Snapchat,
Right,
or
different.
Instagram.
many of these inaccuracies have persisted due to the combination of ineffective police investigation and hyperbolic yellow journalism of the period.
So a bunch of bad apples, and we have no idea what the fuck happened.
Yeah,
No,
who
I mean, we
knows,
don't.
really?
I've also heard people think it was like some local doctor as well. I've heard like theories
Yep.
around that.
Dr.
For-
Henry
for Jack the Ripper.
For
you
Jack
mean?
the Ripper,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Jack the
yeah.
Ripper,
That's
and Dr. Henry Howard Holmes.
Holmes.
Holmes?
right.
Related to Sherlock?
Whoa.
Oh shit,
Did
another
you just
twist.
connect?
Jack the Ripper, aka H.H. Holmes, H.H. aka
This is how conspiracy theories
This
get
is how it
started.
goes.
Sherlock.
Yeah.
We're doing it now.
They're like, but my dog's name is Buddy.
But wait, what
that was
better
his
way?
buddy.
Hold on. What better way to disguise yourself than to be a private investigator?
Well, I think Sherlock Holmes is a completely fictional character.
It is.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
That's why I was like,
never
this
know.
is how
You
it
never
happened.
know. You never know.
Completely fictional, though.
I also believe in mermaids, so there we go.
But I named my dog Jack and my cat Ripper.
Totally
that
random
was
thought.
I'm open to the idea of mermaids.
Do you see that comic book there? It says Doom, Moody's impending doom.
He looks like
Do you-
Ian Curtis, actually.
Have you heard of Mooney?
yeah.
Mooney, Seth Findlay, Mooney?
No.
Okay, he's a
Local
local
artist.
Nashville artist. You'd probably dig his music. It's cool. It's like
It's dope.
Wait, that sounds very familiar.
indie rock with
I gotta
a-
see his face.
Do you know
What?
Abby Holiday? Okay, anyway, his wife, Jane, his wife. Anyway, so he's an indie artist. We've had him on the show a few times. But just a cool idea for y'all and for any artists out there. He has created like a lore around his music.
That's
I love
cool.
that.
And he decided to make it a comic. So he wrote it out and then like had a friend do a graphic illustration. So he made this like 25-page comic book and then like sold it for like $25. And I bought it the second it came out just to support. But I'm like, dude, fucking that made me like, I want a comic book. I want to make a comic book for me. Like everybody should have a comic book. So
Seth
anyway,
Mooney.
the Foxies, I don't know if you've thought about making a comic book and a lore, but I feel like
now
you
you're
guys,
thinking about it.
you seem like you guys should have a comic book and a lore. I'm
That'd
just
be
saying.
fun.
I
Yeah, and
feel
if
like-
you do, we will buy it and we'll put it right there on the comic book lore shelf.
Okay, here's a
think we should do
question.
it, yeah.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
If we were in a comic book lore,
Yeah.
I think that it would be a cult.
Sure.
'cause
Okay.
I think it'd be a cult.
What
A
would
cute,
be,
a
what
cute
would be
cult.
a cult?
We would be a cult
Oh, sure.
with our band.
First, there was one fox howling alone in Phoenix. And she said, I need to find my pack.
I need to find my pack.
So she traveled to the wilds of Nashville.
Do wolves or do foxes travel in packs?
They sure should.
I
this one
should-
does.
No,
This
I
one
think
does.
they're alone.
I would actually say, in terms of personal experience, I would say that they sure don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
we
think
ever
I've
seen
ever
one
seen-
They
fox.
travel. No, they actually travel in couples,
Do they?
couplets.
couplets?
I've never seen it.
In the
They
UK,
will only let you see one at a time.
well, no,
They're letting you see
we were
them.
staying.
So English foxes.
No, English
traveled
foxes.
in
They
pairs
travel in pairs.
that one time.
Actually, there were 3 of them. There were 3 of them. They were in our backyard in London,
Threesome
and
of
they're
foxes.
the threesome of. Oh, that's all of us.
That's actually cute.
It's really
Whoa.
cute.
Foxes are very social creatures that live in packs.
Oh,
a
there
group of
you
foxes
go.
are called a leash, skulk,
leash?
or earth. Which do you guys want to pick? You have to be. You're the
skulk.
foxes.
Awful, yeah.
We're the
skulk.
skulk.
You guys are a
Foxes,
The
skulk.
right?
Skulk Cult.
Hell yeah.
Or we, what is it? We 3 on a leash. Oh boy, are
the
the skulk
skulk
of the
cult.
earth. Okay.
Yeah, we're generating a really good lore here. Boom, boom. Yeah, this is a good lore. Anyway, I'm just saying the Foxies should probably make a comic book.
I think we should too, and I think we should all have
good.
our own little powers.
Yes. What would your power
How
be?
you say-
Okay. I was hoping I wouldn't go first because I really don't know.
Yeah.
But
Jake,
I would
go
yeah.
first. You didn't want to go first.
I don't
What's your
wanna go
power?
first.
That's what I'm here for.
Or you could sign each other's powers. Sometimes
I mean-
we see each other's powers better than we see our own.
Shit.
That's a Captain
That's a good one. I
Planet
like this. I like
level
this.
wisdom.
Okay.
Jake being the human encyclopedia.
That's not even a power.
I don't know, man.
That's
You
just
could
like
use
being
that.
smart.
You're the walking human encyclopedia. You could cite anything, any fact, anything, and you like somebody would ask you anything, and you would do it.
You're a fact guy.
No, I just like
I didn't think
he
so. I
knows.
thought it was more of a
Apparently
kid
you are.
gay.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
All right.
It's perfect.
All
All
right.
right. Ask him a fact. Anybody in the room.
Oh,
Let's ask
God.
him a fact.
Ask him a fact.
Yeah, he's the human
You mean-
encyclopedia.
I think you mean
What
ask
a
him
better
a
way to
question.
superpower.
What a better way to discredit
Well, no, I
me
mean,
and
like-
Julia.
Wait, but I'm just saying. I'm saying this. I'm saying if we needed to hijack something, or like if
Sure.
we needed to like rob a bank,
Which you
Okay.
often do.
As a band,
Why does it have to be
how
two
do you survive?
crimes?
How do you survive as an indie band on the road? You have to hijack a bank.
you never know.
You need to
And this
Ocean's
is-
11 some shit.
This is literally just our comic book. So if Jake had to hijack anything or like break into a bank or
I'm
or-
Jewish. Does it have to be a bank, you guys? Can it please be something else?
if you had to
With
steal
those
my
pants,
car.
Can it
You
be
bring-
Dave and Buster's?
Yeah,
How about
Dave and
Dave and
Buster's.
Buster's?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, man. Like I'm not trying to.
With
No.
with those pants, you have a very strong bandit vibe.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bandit.
So it's like if you had to hold up a Dave
That's
and
not a bad.
Buster's
That's not a bad episode title either. Bandit vibe.
bandit vibe. If you had to hold up a Dave and Buster's, you would know the floor plan already
Sure.
because you just know. You're the human encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's not because I'm scrappy
No,
or
you just
crafty
know, dude.
No.
or fast.
Because you know shit.
It's because I know shit.
You can tap into the parts of the brain that nobody else can, and I
Love
think
it.
that that's a dope ass superpower.
You know, we only use 12% of our brain. Jake uses
That's
the other percentage.
82.
88.
Oh, 88.
Look at that. Look at that
You
quick
just knew
math.
that number.
All right, what would mine be? Tell me right now.
Yeah.
Charm.
Oh,
Charm.
I don't really.
Yeah.
So she comes in and she has like in her fox suit. I think you guys all have fox suits in this lore.
wasn't
Would we
even-
agree?
Sure.
You guys all have fox suits,
Yeah,
and
they're
you
furries.
have a heart on yours.
Furries.
Did you all ever watch Care Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a
staple of the
ton.
90s.
A staple.
So you have a fox suit, okay, typical fox color, and you got a heart on yours for the charm, and you kind of like lay it on with the security guard in the front of the Dave & Buster's, and kind of like your heart starts like emanating like, and it kind of like they get sucked into the charm,
Oh, that's
and then Jake
exactly what I would do.
sneaks past,
See?
cases the joint. Now, what about the other two? The one
Yeah,
you don't know
right.
his last
You know,
name.
they don't need to be
Rob's power.
criminals for this. They could be heroes.
Well,
They're criminal heroes. They're
Rob's
stealing from the
power-
rich.
Rob's power would be
Yeah.
something manual because he not only is in charge of most of our gear on the road, he is like the best Tetris player you've
He's the
ever
hacker.
seen. He's the
Rob's the hacker.
yeah.
You know, Tetris
He's
is the
in.
best-selling game of all
He's
time.
the computer hacker.
Rob's the hacker. Jake's the one that wears the suit and just does the like the James Bond shit.
Sure.
Goes in through.
His little fox suit flying around,
Yes.
kind of going around the lasers
I'm the
like
distraction.
entrapment.
I'm the distraction. Chris, I would say Chris is the incognito, silent bandit that nobody knows is there because he's
a stealthy guy.
Chris is the dude that like quietly drinks all the vodka, and because if they didn't, they would be like, "Oh, the Foxies are gone because no one's drinking the vodka."
But
I don't know why it's vodka.
Sure.
Maybe I've just decided that the enemies are Russian. But either way, Chris downs that shit, and so the bartenders, the wait staff, basically the staff of the establishment are like, this is going as planned. They're getting drunk. And meanwhile, he's, by the way, the best at, until the point of no return, he's the best at holding his liquor.
His superpower is high tolerance.
High tolerance.
That's it. That's it.
Chris, high tolerance.
So like,
Chris I think he'd agree.
Rob the hacker.
Sir, the Foxies are reported to be in the area. They could try to steal all the money that we stole from children. And meanwhile, they're like, no, Chris is over there drinking vodka.
Right.
The Foxies are entertained. They're not going to do anything.
And he's so drunk and so harmless that he has stumbled into the control center of wherever this radio signal is going on.
I didn't know Dave Buster's had a control center.
They sure do.
So he's sitting right here, and he receives the message, and he's going, no, don't worry about it. They left a long time ago.
No,
that one's literally nothing.
Damn.
But meanwhile,
in Spain,
in comes Jake.
Honestly, I think that like us, and the way that I see it is like if we were in a comic book, we would be the vigilantes. We would be like the Robin Hoods.
Sure.
the
Just
Batmen.
We would be We'd
The
be
kid
like
guys.
The Bat Kid
the
guys.
kid guys. We would be the bad guys before a good.
Yeah, I see that.
Good.
Yeah. All I know is I get a royalty of your comic book at this point. I'm a huge
Of course.
creative IP director.
Yes.
I mean,
just kidding. But you should make a comic book.
here's a good question though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys want to be when you were children? Like, what was your biggest thing?
Paleontologist.
Really?
Mine's
Yeah.
so much lamer than that.
Fucking hell.
More lame? than
Oh,
the
so much more lame. When I was a kid, I legitimately thought this sounded so cool. I wanted so bad to be a stockbroker.
Wow.
Sadly,
Because
that
in my
would
mind,
be,
it's like Wall Street. You know,
Yeah,
you're in there,
yep.
you're doing the shit.
You'd have a cell phone. It'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
That was
God.
the dream.
Stockbroker, paleontologist, Jake.
I mean, sorry. How old are we talking?
I was probably like
Little
7
kid.
or 8.
Like bibbies.
I mean, what
Yeah.
first thing that comes to your mind?
Yeah,
like
probably-
I had
probably
multiple
like a-
interests. I
Yeah.
picked paleontologist.
When I was probably a basketball player.
Oh,
I love that. I love that.
I'm a big
but your
sports guy.
dad forced you to be in music.
Yeah, right. No.
I really
the real Troy Bolton of our time.
Right? Yeah. High School Musical. I really identified with that South Park episode that was the parody. Yeah, I think probably a ball player of some kind.
I wanted to be a
And you?
Charlie's Angels.
Not a
Charlie's
job.
That was so incorrect. You wanted to be a female? You wanted to be a spy?
I
to be an
wanted to be
angel.
a Charlie's Angel.
She wanted to be one
Yeah.
of Charlie's Angels.
Yes, because I remember seeing that movie as a kid and
The
being
remake, I
like,
The
assume.
Drew Barrymore.
Yes,
Yeah, with Drew Barrymore.
Drew
Yeah,
Barrymore,
yeah.
Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu.
Oh, Cameron Diaz.
I wanted so badly, and this is why I'm going back to fucking hacking into shit, hijacking people's databases.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've always wanted to do that.
Totally.
Yes.
So bad for jewels and gems.
And now you can.
Now I can in our
Foxy's
comic book.
Angels.
The Foxies Angels and the Skull Crux. What is it called?
Skulk. It's a skulk of foxes.
Skulk of the Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, the skulk of the earth. Yeah.
We're not the scum of the earth. We're the skulk of the earth.
Now, we should probably play another song.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Wow.
I know we've gotten on some tangents, as we do.
This was a wonderful tangent.
Yeah, I love
That
it.
was
I love
nice.
it. I love it
like
all.
a lot.
What's the next song we're going to be hearing now?
It's about being a walking disaster. But for real though, it is about that. I'll go into more of it after the song.
Let's go play it.
A glass of guilt for free sounds pretty good to me. I wear my hangover happy, I will, yeah, all my apologies. Hey, what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Some days I'm such a mess, I'm out of my head. A walking contradiction, a living wreck. Say what you want about me, don't give a shit. Every day is backwards, 'cause I'm a natural disaster. I'm a natural disaster. I know I'm frayed at the ends, a rope that's unraveling. Don't need the king's horses or the king's men to put me back together again. Who the hell said that I was broken? Some days I'm such a mess, I'm out of my head. A walking contradiction, a living wreck. Say what you want about me, don't give a shit. Every day is backwards, 'cause I'm a natural disaster. I'm a natural disaster. So what? What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Hey, what you see is what you. Oh, what you see is what you get. Some days I'm such a mess, I'm out of my head. A walking contradiction, a living wreck. Say what you want about me, don't give a shit. Every day is backward, 'cause I'm a natural disaster. I'm a natural disaster. So what? I'm a natural disaster. I'm a natural disaster. So what?
And we're back.
Okay, so that was
Are
a
we
natural
back?
disaster. So what was that about? It feels just on the face of it very similar to the subject matter of the first song.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's funny because like after we wrote it, I started kind of sitting with the lyrics that were written, and I was like, man, this is honestly what my 21-year-old self wish she could have been saying. Like it's more of like a we all go through those moments in life, especially in our early 20s, where we fuck up a lot. And you either are embarrassed by it or
Not
you
just
own
your
it.
20s.
We fuck up all the time, forever and ever, amen. And
Forever and ever.
amen. Anywho, so that's kind of like if I could have said anything, and like if my alter ego, which is this confident woman named Vanessa, that's my alter ego. That's what I call her.
Vanessa.
If Vanessa would have
Vanessa makes a perfect cup of coffee every time.
Vanessa's a bitch and she's amazing and I love her. That's what Vanessa would have said. And so I wrote the song for Vanessa. just owning your flaws instead of being embarrassed by them. I think that's a big thing.
It's a hard
It's a
thing
good
to
way
do.
to be. I heard
It is so hard.
So I'm not a big fan of like
Flaws?
No, like
Any flaws,
woo, or like I'm not a big like read all the self-help books guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people are super
Or
into
even
that,
one
and it's
ever.
great.
Right.
No, I've read some books, but
Really?
generally speaking, I'm not. I generally subscribe
I get
to
it.
the idea of like fucking figure it out. Or
Right.
like, I mean, information's good, but like all this shit's saying the same thing. It's like
Sure.
this
This is
Yeah.
a kid who wanted to be a stockbroker when he grew up.
That's true.
But I heard so today actually I was on YouTube as I am all day, and I watched this guy. His channel's called Pirate Software, and I watch it. Usually I only watch his shorts because his videos I don't care about.
Yeah.
But he said something I thought was actually interesting, and it was very self-helpy, which normally I don't like. But he was talking about comparing yourself to people, and he was like, look, there's always going to be people who are better than you.
Yep.
And you're better than a lot of people in a lot of different things. He's like, but it doesn't fucking matter. He's like, the only person to compare yourself to is yourself 1 year ago.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And then completely compare yourself. Like fully go into
Totally.
it, be like, I'm a piece of shit because that person was better.
Yep.
Totally.
And he's like, that's okay as long as it's only you.
That's right.
Love that.
Well, it's the bar's got to be internal. I think that's why I like being a musician, and why my hobby is sports. Is that I'm not really fucking competing against anybody. Like I get the whatever the endorphin rush or something. I don't even know if that's the right chemical, but whatever the rush I'm getting from my sports fandom, it's fabricated, and so I don't have to compete. I feel really good about this. I don't have to compete with people in Nashville or in LA or
just
other
enjoy it.
indie bands on tour. Yeah, no, if anything, it's pride or just gratitude rather than pride that we all get to do this same thing. And then I can compete with myself either a year ago or a year from now, and I can challenge the bar has got to be internal. And I don't know, it goes this way as opposed to this way. Like, what's he doing?
Because that
What is
never
she
works. Because people are different.
Diminishing returns too. Even if you can feel good about yourself or feel bad about yourself and challenge yourself to like be better than, but that's the difference between us and the athletes. Is their job is to compete. Like it's not our job to compete. Our job is to express. So, like, why are you getting mad that person had better results than you? Like they didn't write what you wrote. Like you wrote what you wrote.
And that's another thing is like being in this business, it's so hard to not compare yourself.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Especially because of, social media and TikTok, and we only put what we want other people to see online. Like we only put the happy shit. What would happen if we just ended up putting all the dark shit, sad shit, deep shit,
I think a lot of people are probably super into that.
All right, be like, yeah,
To be
show
fair.
me your deep and darkest secrets, bitch. So it's like, it took me a long time, and I still kind of have to tell myself, do not compare, because one, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, aka the social media screen, and two, your timeline is completely different than somebody else's. Your world is just as unique to you as it is to theirs, and vice versa. So it's like, and who knows? Maybe this is all a simulation and we're just not real.
I mean,
So-
statistically, it's
ready.
more likely than us being in reality.
I mean, that's kind of how
Right.
it feels. I talk to myself all the
Right.
time anyway. So
I had a friend who was on American Idol back in the day, did really well, didn't win, but went really far,
yeah,
and had a brief country career afterwards,
Oh, cool.
got dropped off the label, and then like came back a few years later and was like sort of older for being an artist, but
Yeah.
like has found success in his niche. Okay. He told me once something like, it's kind of totally in line with what you're saying, just like, don't look at him or her or where they're at, like focus on your lane, like your story is your own. And I think one thing he went through is just going like, I'm 6 to 8 years older than most artists that are taking off at this point of their lives. And you just have to look at your own race. Like, are you running? I guess it's exactly what you just said. Like, are you doing better than you did last year? Is your thing
Totally.
taking off? And the fucking mind game is whenever you start comparing yourself to somebody else who's like a little younger and a little further on and a little richer or whatever, there's always going to be somebody who's like 18 years old and blowing up and like dominating the world. And we compare ourselves to those people and you're just like, I don't have as many years left as them. I'm not as cool or as relevant. I'm not as rich. I could never be. But the thing is like, of course there's going to be somebody who's 18 who's famous. There's going to be somebody who's 6 years old who's famous. There's going to be some Dakota Fanning out there. But there's only going to be like 1 or 2 of them in the world.
Totally.
And it's just because movies need a little kid that's cute and that they can make famous that will get you to buy tickets for the next one.
Exactly.
And just like, there's always going to be people who have better metrics than you in some area or another.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was helpful for me. The whole backstory of who this person was like doesn't matter other than for me the fact that like this person is more successful according to metrics than I
Yeah.
am in terms of like success and fame and everything else. It was helpful to hear them be like, yeah, for me in my career, I feel like I have to not compare myself to others because no matter how high you rise, there's always somebody further until you're like Jeff Bezos. But then the whole world thinks that you're evil
I know.
at the very top.
And
It's
it's
like, what a fucked up game.
And you get to a point like whenever I get on those ruts, and it's usually when I'm stagnant in Nashville, when we're not on tour or anything like that, I will sit here and I'm like, oh my God, like nobody's gonna think I'm cool and pretty in like 5 years. What the fuck? And I start looking at like my idols. I look at Bowie. I look at Blondie. I look at Sting. I look at all of these people that Stephen Jenkins, who is my lyricist god.
Third Eye Blind.
Oh, dude, don't. Oh, that's my favorite band.
I love Third Eye Blind.
Oh my God. I literally look at them and I'm like, these motherfuckers did not get their big break until 33.
The sky was gold. It was rose.
The sky was gold. It was rose. It was taking sips of it through my nose, and I wish I could get back there.
Someplace back there.
It's not
Find
under the pictures you would
take.
take.
Doing crystal meth will lift you up until your break it won't stop.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But seriously,
genius.
though.
I've
Oh,
heard
my
he's a
God.
fucking asshole.
Same.
Heard that too. That sucks.
But I would still
But-
love to touch his face. Just be like, hey, you.
Yeah.
You're a genius, Stephen Jenkins.
Yeah. Well, along those
Some of the
same
greatest
lines,
musics.
The guy who started the Colonel for KFC,
Yep.
he didn't start KFC till he was 65,
Exactly.
and he did great. He died a
Exactly.
millionaire. You know,
And it's like,
Everyone knows his face, weirdly.
yeah.
that is kind of weird.
Right?
Actually.
People will know the Colonel's face long after Justin Bieber is dead and forgotten.
So fucking true. And
true.
it's just, I think, well,
I don't know why you're throwing shade on Justin Bieber right now.
I don't know
but-
either. I'm just saying.
Beebs.com, Beebs.
Yeah.
wow.
It's a good one.
But I seriously do think, though, that, like, just going back to this whole thing of, like, age comparison, TikTok, social media, and the way that I grew up in the 90s when it was, like, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, everyone was a teenage pop star. So I thought, when I started my first band
Yeah.
at 13, I was like, if I'm not signed by 18, I fucked up.
Yeah, life's over.
Something's wrong.
Right. And that's an insane thought.
Oh my
That is
God.
insanity.
I'm almost like double that now. 13 double. Yeah, definitely double that. But I'm like, I think to myself and I'm like, holy fuck, it's just now starting because you live your life in your adolescence of like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I become here? And you forget to live where when you're finally at the part where you are happy with where it's going, you're like, this is starting to make sense now. I'm starting to see what my adolescence was kind of like unraveling to become. And one of the biggest and most amazing advice that I got from a friend was when I was 13 in my first band. And I remember we were at a show. We played like a show. It was something called the Daily Grind Coffee Shop.
Classic.
There's a daily grind in like every.
Oh my God.
city.
Oh my
Like-
God. The Daily Grind. They thought we were famous. I loved it. We only played 4 songs, but on rotation for 3 hours because that's all we had.
No way.
Dead
Is that,
serious.
is that real? Oh my god.
My
That's
mom,
awesome.
the only people that showed up were our parents of the band. And they just knew every song by the end of the night. But
That's awesome.
but our friend, Drew was his name. He told me, he said, don't put a timeline on anything. And when he said that, I was like, fuck you. What do you know? You're 18. I'm 13. What the fuck do you know? And then I was
Yeah.
like, he knows everything. Don't put a timeline on shit. Be proactive, be motivated, and do not let your fears get in the way. But do not put yourself on a timeline because it never works out the way you think it's going to.
Or at least have
Or-
some methodology that isn't just, well, he or she or they were
Yeah.
on this time. You know, I mean,
It usually works out better than you think. So
Totally.
it's like don't limit yourself to that
But there's a flip
timeline.
side to that as well, which I don't think people say this enough.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody needs to say this into the world.
Say it right
Okay.
now.
Also, don't do that. Don't do that at all. Fucking, if you want to just get a job and just like,
Oh, for sure.
just like
yeah.
be like, my life's cool. Like I do what I like.
Totally.
I live. Also,
Well,
that's
you know-
fine.
you know
Try to
who-
pretend like that's not fine. and
You
it
know
is.
who says that, and
Exactly.
for better or worse, the reason it falls on deaf ears is that it's usually people like us telling it to people like us. But
Yes.
artists say that. I had a lot of
Really?
I had experiences. Well, that's what I would tell a kid. Like, if someone, if I decided to, or if they really wanted candid, and I teach kids, like, I want to inspire people, but if I'm being serious, if you could be this is what people would tell me. If you could be happy, if you could be equally happy doing anything else, you want to be an actor, you want to be a musician, you want to be a recording engineer, you want to be an artist. If you could be equally happy doing anything else, I would recommend you go do that thing.
Yes.
And it's usually told
That's
to
the best advice I ever got.
Right. Well, it's usually, and you probably, like I, and maybe you as well, like, we all sat there and we were like, well, okay, fuck.
Yeah,
I can't be.
They say that in every industry too. Like I when I used to do sales, they used to say it all the
Yeah.
time. If you could do anything but sales, you should, because only people.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I didn't know
I've
that.
heard that in in other industries. Yeah,
But I also
I'm not saying we're special, but I did think that was special.
I never
Sorry.
I never
No,
That was ours.
Well, I think to your point, it was good advice no matter what. I'm sorry.
yeah,
It
It
is
is good
really
advice.
good advice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you can answer that question, you can easily say, I would never be happy doing anything else, and you have your answer.
right.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And when you have that answer, don't give yourself a plan B. Just fucking go for
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Balls to the wall. But if
Yeah.
you could be happier or equally as happy doing whatever else, then do that
Right.
too.
You just want to get like a regular ass job,
my
work
God.
9 to 5, and then the rest of your time you do
Dude.
whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you want. That's great.
The more time
Seriously.
the more
Yeah.
time goes on, the more I'm like living in a split reality
Yeah.
where I'm like, yeah, I could jump off and like have
Yeah.
some job I don't even know what it is, but it just pays really good and like just have a family and be okay and just fine is because it just makes money and it's fine and it's easy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like I totally could.
Yeah.
But the thing about music that keeps you going is that you have those big wins and you have those moments
Right.
and you have those like things that happen where you're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this might lead to the whole next level that I've been gunning for 20 years.
Dude, that's...
And you're like,
And even
fuck,
just,
I'm back in.
and as much as I love that feeling, I'll be honest, and maybe it's because I haven't hit a big, but like that still doesn't for me, and I mean it, like that still doesn't touch the feeling of like when you made something you're obsessed with. I
Love that.
want the hits and like let's fucking
Yeah.
go, and we love our band and we have other shit we're working. Let's go, but truly, like, I mean. And that's the only thing, and having been in this band a while, pretty much every song that I've been a part of that we've put out, like, there was like a little or a big glimpse of that where like
Yeah.
when we were writing fucking Natural Disaster, we were
That
like,
was a big one.
"Yo,
Holy shit.
this one's really good, right? We're not," and sometimes, hey, listen, we've all been there. Sometimes you're drinking a little too much of the Kool-Aid, and you hear it after. There are plenty of times we're like, "This is amazing," and our manager's like, "Yeah, it's cool," but usually the really good ones, they stick around for a while.
Wesley says
Wesley
it is really
confirms.
good.
He said it is really good.
Right on. Thanks, dude. But even like there are songs that are they probably haven't even been fully recorded that have demos, and in a year we're gonna sit down with everybody at a song meeting, and they're gonna be like, that one's still good, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be like, I fucking knew it.
That's what
Because when
happens.
we wrote it.
It's what happens.
That feeling is the best.
And it's an undeniable feeling. Like, I think that when we are young, we have this burning desire telling us what we need to do and what we're meant for. And I feel like it's easier for some of us to uncover than others. And I feel that like music has always just been this undeniable thing for me, that like if I were not going to do it, I would be ship me off to an island or something, which would not be bad.
Because you just write.
Like half of me really wants to live in a shack with these little gnomes and stuff and be like,
It'd be the closest thing.
I'd be the wood nymph. But I'm saying, but I do think like Bowie, I was watching this, that biopic of him. It was the Moon Age Daydream documentary.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, so beautiful. And
Moon Age
he's
Daydream. Okay.
absolutely wonderful. And he said, he was like, he said something, they asked him what it was like to feel when he's not on stage and stuff. And he said, I personally feel like just an empty vessel. But when I'm on stage, I feel like myself because I knew that this is what I wanted to do. This was my calling. But being around people and in doing just the mundane of the day, I've never felt like a human. I feel like I'm an alien. I feel like I am just here to go to the next phase, which is to play shows, to tour, and all that stuff. And that has never, and something has never resonated more to me than that. And it was like, you just know sometimes what you want to do and what you want to do in life. And if you want to do it, fucking make it happen.
Yeah.
Fucking allow yourself to balls to the wall, go for it. And, you know, plan B is like, yeah, it's cool to have one, but if you don't have one, it's even cooler.
Yeah. Now,
Slay.
I know we got to go to the question.
Oh,
I know
Just
you
where
have
we're
a,
in
You have
time,
a question first.
you have a
but
pre-question.
Yes, pre-question. Okay, so I don't really have a question other than I just want to acknowledge this.
you're
So
a liar. Got
origin
it.
story of you guys being on the show is my old roommate, Zach Ummer. I don't know if you've ever heard his name before. Do you know Zach?
I do know Zach.
Okay, Zach was my old roommate, and he was like regularly when we lived together, at least multiple times, he would be like, "Oh, this band, the Foxies, they're really cool," and just like he referenced you guys like multiple
Sick.
times, like the Foxies, they're so fucking cool. And Zach's just the coolest dude of all time, by the way.
I'm stalking him again on Instagram. real
Yeah,
quick.
you should. He's an artist and does cool stuff.
He's been on
But
the show.
He's been on the show.
Zach.
I met him on the show. He became my roommate after
That's
he had been
right.
on the
I
show.
forgot that.
Yeah.
We met him
sweet.
because
That's cool.
my wife, his sister, worked at the same company or worked with Zach at some random ass
And she
office
kept
job.
being like, I have
She
a
was
friend
like,
who
get this
does
guy on the
music."
show. Get this guy on the
And we're
show.
like,
and then we
okay,
did, and then they
whatever.
moved in together.
Yeah, and then we became friends. Like a year down the road, but and now he's in my band. He plays guitar with me. So like,
love
anyway,
it.
Zach's just a fucking dope dude. But Zach would constantly be like, "There's this band called the Foxies, and they're cool."
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he would just reference you guys. It's like they're cool. So
Oh,
anyway,
cool.
so I was aware
Thanks,
of the
Zach.
Foxies because Zach just kept shouting you out like from Instagram.
Sure.
Fuck yeah, Zach.
And then, like, sometime this summer, I saw probably your guys' post, or maybe it was Jive Talk, posted
Oh,
that
yeah.
y'all were on Rolling Stones magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went and
That's
read the
dope.
article, and I was like, Rolling Stones was like, the Foxies, Jive Talk, and I forgot one other band. I don't know if you remember who
Criticals, I
they were.
think.
Criticals.
Oh, the
They were
Well, I
like,
mentioned the Criticals, but
the whole thing was like,
Yeah.
Nashville has a burgeoning pop rock scene. And I was like, oh, fuck, I've been hearing about, I'm sure Zach probably was like, you should have the Foxes on your show.
Yeah.
And like, so you were like in the background of my head of many indie bands that exist. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, they're on Rolling Stone. And I'm like, all right, I better reach out literally today. I reached out that day. I was like, oh, God,
Yay.
they're going to be way too big for us. I need to reach out now. Like, get them on the show.
dude,
Still just roughing it, baby.
yeah,
we
man.
out here.
But
And I just wanted to ask, like, what was that like? The cool, the good, the bad, the ugly? Like, I feel like if I was in Rolling Stone, I would feel amazing. But at the same time, I would also have an imposter syndrome shit. And I
Sure.
feel like it would make me feel like everybody thinks I'm cool. But I don't know. I deal with the imposter syndrome
Yeah.
shit.
Well, and
Like, I had some pictures I took that made it in People magazine one time.
yeah,
And I thought that was really cool.
'Cause it
And
is
at the same
cool.
time, it didn't change my life at all and nobody cared. And that's the weird shit about music. I just wondered what it was like for everybody out there
Yeah.
who's like, it's my dream to be in Rolling Stone magazine. I've made it.
yeah,
What's it like being on the other side of that? Like, it's got to be amazing and also kind of like nothing and
It's-
everything. And what,
dude,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'll tell you, like, my biggest dream as a kid, one of the dreams, and I will say we've already crossed one off our bucket list, my bucket list, which was tour with Billy Idol. That was one of my dreams as a kid.
That's incredible that you
It
get to
was-
do
it
something you
was-
dreamed about as a kid.
It was insane. And it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, passion is a manifestation. Like, if you have that passion, you know that you were destined to make it happen. Don't allow yourself to think you're not. Because the moment that you allow yourself to think you're not, you can't do it. And so, like, when I was a kid, I was like, I love him. I'm going to play with him one day. And I just believed it, you know? And when I looked at
out of context, that's a stupid belief.
but
you did it.
When you do it and you put it into practice, it's an insane tool to have. And that's what I did with Rolling Stone too. When I was a kid, I saw Green Day in Rolling Stone, and though we're not on the cover, we will be one day. It's just how you talk into the atmosphere. We will do that one day. But when I was a kid, I would read Rolling Stone religiously, and I was like, one day, we're gonna be in Rolling Stone. It's gonna happen.
And you hella were.
And yes,
Been in it twice, bro.
and it was
Twice?
yes, we were twice. Mm-hmm.
We were in,
Oh, wow.
we were in
2020
2020. They
when we
did a thing
released
on
our Growing Up as Dead EP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were in it twice.
Yeah.
And it's just
It was intentional, Wes.
it's an interesting thing.
He was just calling me out for saying hella.
Hella. But no, it is a very interesting thing when you see that. It's like, fuck, and you realize it's like, okay, sick. It's another tick off the bucket list. It's not like I've made it. It's more of like I am proud of myself. I did what I wanted to do when I was younger, and my younger self would be stoked right now.
Yeah, because that place does. It's like the know better. That place doesn't exist where you make it or you don't make it.
No, it doesn't exist.
Just like you never feel like an adult.
I feel like I've had a pretty healthy viewpoint of working artists, and maybe it goes into also what you were saying about a lot of the people who in Nashville who are really successful or really humble. But just in terms of immediacy, I would quote the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, and I would say, never get too high, never get too low.
Bitch, be humble.
And we talk about. I do think. I mean, it doesn't mean don't celebrate. I think that can be kind of. I definitely. I don't remember if it was the first or second show, but at some point I definitely grabbed Jules before one of the Idol shows and was like, "It's fucking cool that we're doing this. It's fucking cool that you're doing this." I love Billy Idol.
I remember that,
but I didn't worship him like she did. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's wild.
However, I think we also talked about and I think Rob is included in this. I could be wrong, but we all got literally mine was the senior superlative for most likely to be on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Mine was most likely to be famous.
Right. So that kind of shit,
wow.
right? So it's you cross that off the list. It's so sick. It doesn't make us any richer.
No.
It doesn't make us any more or less successful. And I feel like I also thought about this a couple years ago when I was like, I feel like growing up in Philly and having really good music teachers who were professionals, professional musicians, shout out Andrew Lipke and all the people that I really grew to watch. But also most of my favorite artists were like that as well. And they would basically have, as famous as they were or weren't, as rich as they were, they always had this mentality of, man, it's figure skating, dude. You throw out the highest score, you throw out the low score, and you go, I'm probably somewhere right in there. And I think that's kind of the way to go about it.
Is that how figure skating works? I have no idea.
I think so, I guess.
I think I'm quoting somebody. I don't know.
Expert figure skating commentator.
I have
Jake.
no idea.
It's true.
right.
Encyclopedia, man. but I do think though that growing into what you want to do in your life and seeing these pivotal moments in your career, it's not a thing of, oh my God, yeah, I'm the best because I just fucking did this. It's more so I made it happen what I wanted when I was a kid. And it's just it's bringing back that child in you, being a kid guy,
We're all just kid guys.
Just being a kid guy. It's
It's I know we can't name the episode that, but I want to so
want
badly.
to.
the kid guys in the skulls of the earth, or the
Do the right thing.
struts of the earth, something.
We can't,
But
yeah.
but it truly is. I remember so many people before we did the Billy Idol tour. So many people were like, "What is your music like?" And I used to say Billy Idol and Blondie had a baby.
I mean, it was what she said when I met her.
It's
First thing.
Billy
It's
Idol
so
and Blondie
cool.
had a baby.
It's so cool.
And then flash forward to 2 years later, 3 years later, we're on tour with the man. I can't say that anymore, but it's okay because it's fuck, it's actually true. What we're doing is what I always felt.
Do you ever have
could
to
be happening?
pinch yourself on those things, especially because that's now in the rear view? Do you have to pinch yourself and be like, wait, remember that happened because you probably at times still feel just like a fledgling artist. And do you have to ever pinch yourself and be like, wait, no, I've done some things, like some of the bucket list has been accomplished.
Yeah.
Like remind yourself who you are almost.
I slap myself and call me daddy. That's that's when I know.
I think you have to like. Yes, I think the answer to that is yes. I think you're supposed to do that. I think you have to enjoy the moment. The danger is just to not let yourself get into coast mentality.
Yeah.
I know for me, and I can't really speak for people in my life because I am whatever. I am me. But like when I look at my bandmates, like they don't have coast mentality. So our drummer's favorite band is Incubus, and when we played a festival the same day as Incubus, he was shitting his pants. Yeah. And if I thought that he's gonna just ride this out for a while, maybe I would worry. But I know that dude works harder than anybody, so you want to go and like give him a hug and be like, how cool is this shit? And it's the same with her, like so. That's why when you're on the stage or the thing comes out or whatever, the rolling, whatever it is, like. I think, you're supposed to pinch yourself. I think you're supposed to like
just being humble
this
too.
is great. And especially with the Idol thing, like that the tour we did with him in the US was like 10 shows, and the dates we did with him in Europe was like 15 or 20 shows. So it's a lot when you throw it together like that, but at one time you're like, yo, in 3.5 weeks, like we're gonna be on a plane home. So when you're on this, you do have to like pinch yourself, whatever, enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And then, get back to Nashville, and we're just regular motherfuckers. We got to go back to work. We got to go back and earn the money that we need to earn for this, and we got to go back and write better songs so we can tour with whoever Billy Idol is tomorrow. Cause, you know, who cares?
So we have a final question, but just to summarize before we do the final question. If you had let's just pretend somebody who's listening right now is a major Foxies fan. They think the Foxies is the greatest thing ever. They've bought the comic book. They've already pre-ordered the comic book.
Skulls of the
Because
Earth.
by the time this has come out, you guys have already announced it. Skulls of the Earth. Total Foxies fan. And from their perspective, from their vantage point, they want to be artists too. But you've made it.
Yeah.
In their eyes. Like to tour with you would be the thing.
Yeah.
So for that person... And I want to hear from each of you guys, just like 30 seconds. What would be like your advice to those people? What would you say to them about where they're at, who they are, what they should do? Anything. I mean, very open-ended question, but just like, what's your current view at your age, at your place in your career? What would you say to that person?
I'd fucking say just don't give up at all. Don't listen to anybody else around you. If you know what you want to do and it's that burning desire that's making you wake up every day, how can that be wrong? So I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, my favorite teacher when I was a kid, he told me go to college, and I had a full ride, and I was like, I'm sorry, man, but I'm gonna do music.
Best decision you ever made.
Best
college
decision.
Is a scam.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm gonna do music, and I'm gonna make sure of it, and I did. And even though it's not exactly how I saw it pan out, I've crossed so many things off my bucket list, and I'm so very, very happy and so proud. And that desire does not lie at all. So you just got to listen to it and just go with it. It's your intuition.
That's a really cool quote. Like, the desire doesn't lie.
It doesn't.
That's
it never
right.
does.
No, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I answered.
Yeah.
That was really good. I mean, don't give up. I think, obsess, work hard. Be a student in whatever way that means. It doesn't necessarily mean in the classroom, but be a student. And also, break the rules. I really think if you combine this is how I've approached it. If you combine the notion of learning and being a student of the game, and also like, don't believe anybody that says you can't do something. Keep freaking going. I think if you view Plan B as a matter of practicality, as a way to still be an artist, okay, maybe, but don't have any of these sort of safety plan things. Go for what you want to do, and if you lead with your passion and the desire don't lie, your studiousness and your obsessiveness and your ability to break the rules, like you're going to land somewhere where you hopefully belong, or at least where your skills are going to be useful. Just keep. I really think it sounds so cheeseball, but like, don't give up, keep going.
Well, in Plan B, like that's the moment that you think you're not good enough for Plan A. So that's another thing that I've always really, really believed in.
Totally.
So it's like, allow yourself to just go in and go hard and go full force.
I heard Jackson Brown once say, if you have a net, you're going to fall in it.
There's no net.
Ooh.
There's no net.
So
here.
I think, and I think there is nuance. I think for me, I feel like my career personally has always been very nuanced. I used to want to be the lead singer, and
there's a video of him singing. What is it? Cult of
Personality.
Yeah.
When I was in like 8th grade.
Yeah, we should pull that up one day.
Like, oh no, you're gonna. Okay. Whatever.
Jake Obama, Cult of Personality, 2008.
I feel like, my new Plan B for me was not being a lawyer. Plan B might have been being the sideman in a band. And then I realized, at some point in the first 2 years of meeting Julia, like, oh man, I'm actually way better in this role. And it's not a matter of diminishing myself or I'm not good at this, but it's a matter of like, I have these skills. I'm good at it here. And that's why I think breaking the rules is important, because some people always I'm sure they told you, like, you can't do it like this. They certainly told me, like, well, are you a guitar player or are you a piano player? Are you a writer? Are you an actor? Are you a singer? Or which one is it? Because you should probably pick. And I'm like, I just feel like I shouldn't pick, because at some point, and thank God for the Foxies, at some point I figured out, like, oh, you know what? I'm actually really good at this little slot right here. I think, we certainly have, and I mean this in a good way, we certainly have a drummer that nobody else has, like personality-wise, in terms of his musicality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to break the rules. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't always mean like rebelling. But I think, you know yourself. I know myself. You know yourself better than anybody knows yourself. So, don't give up. Keep going.
Challenge yourself in the status quo. I think that's a big thing, too.
Totes.
Y'all, that was awesome.
Let's go.
I love your all's humility. Your all's. I don't know how to be Southern.
That's
I'm
how
from
she would-
California.
that's how she
That's
would
how
say
I would
it.
say
Your
y'all's.
Alls?
Yeah.
I started saying y'all, though.
Oh.
I don't.
I grew up in California. My family was from Texas, so I grew up with y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you guys' humility and
Thanks, man.
overall vibe and perspective on this, and yeah.
This
Just
was a blast.
Now, before we get out of here,
everything.
we do have one question that we ask every guest.
Do we ask every guest?
Shit.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do.
You're a hard fucking vibe shift, guys.
I'm scared as shit now.
Now, the important thing about
You
this
know
question,
about me that I've been recently asked to be a part of the fucking Illuminati, so
Yeah.
that's got to weigh on you.
I'm a
heavily.
free Lady Mason or whatever.
Lady Mason. Now, the important thing about this question is the answer must not come from here.
Okay.
And if you're only listening to this by
cool.
audio,
Love it.
Jury's
Love it.
pointing to his head.
Must come.
From the heart. The chest or the esophagus.
The
Any of those are
esophagus.
fine.
It must come from the esophagus.
Right from your throat.
Which, call back to earlier, you were choking on your own
I did.
esophagus.
I do that sometimes when I get excited.
As you
happens.
must.
But if you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do.
Yes.
Now, what that actually means, coming from your heart and not your head,
Yes.
is I need an answer immediately.
Got it.
Instantly.
I don't want you to think about it. And
For
because
sure.
there's two of you, that means simultaneously.
Yeah, it means band powers. It means improv.
Right. Not the same answer, obviously. That would
Yeah,
be,
have you
I
ever
mean,
done-
that would be impressive.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah. Have you guys ever done that game where you like look at somebody else in the face and you try to guess what they're gonna say
Yep.
and you say some weird shit together?
Yeah, and it's
It's
really
kind of like
nice.
that.
Okay.
Same instant timing. You don't have to say the same thing. In fact, we would love if you had different answers.
Okay.
Okay.
But whatever
same
comes.
moment.
Whatever
Okay.
comes.
Instantly.
God, I'm
yeah.
nervous.
If you had to choose,
And you
We do.
you do. You have
and
to choose.
you do.
Yeah, you're on our show.
And
you have
we
to.
will.
Yeah, and you will.
What would you say
Oh.
is your favorite kind of turtle? Wow.
Zip, tiny turtle.
Tiny turtle?
What? No.
What kind of turtles are there? What are the dudes from Finding Nemo? That guy.
I've registered your turtle as what kind of turtles are there?
Yeah. What's the
Ninja turtle.
Finding Nemo, sea turtles.
sea turtles? There you
Yeah.
go. That's my
Tiny.
favorite kind. No,
I
that
like
is.
tiny.
That is. Courtesy of Maker's Mark. That's a late answer. But yeah, I would go sea turtle for sure.
100%.
Tiny.
This
The head- the head-
dichotomy of the answers.
Sorry. The head knows what the heart wants.
Tiny turtle.
Yours like
Okay.
yours
And
was like
this
a
is
little,
why-
a little panic followed by tiny turtle, and then
Not the first
and you were
time.
just like a look of disgust on your face as you were like, "What the fuck did they just ask me?"
Not the first time we've heard tiny turtle.
Weirdly. Yeah, weirdly.
'Cause I
We've
don't
heard
think
that
that's
before.
a type of turtle. Wesley, can you fact check that? Make sure tiny
you
turtle.
serious?
What do you mean? Yeah,
Just really cute ones that you could put in your pocket.
a pocket turtle.
Oh my god!
But if I really had to do this question and
And you
answer
do.
it, yeah, I do. It'd be Ninja, Donatello.
Yeah, we got
What?
Ninja a few
We're
times, but
Donatello
we're
guys.
Donatello people.
We're
so
Donatello
we're all
people.
about
Donatello.
that.
Yeah, why
Sorry.
Donatello?
Donatello.
That's the first thing that came to mind. I couldn't remember
Yeah.
the. But Raphael. Who are the other two?
Leonardo
and
Michelangelo.
oh
Yep.
shit, they're all.
Yeah. Turtle/tiny.
The common musk turtle would be a very articulate answer.
Oh yeah, maybe that's my musk.
But I think
Do you seriously ask everybody
Every
what is your
single
favorite kind of
guest.
turtle?
Yeah.
And you press the jaws thing like 3 or
Every
4
time.
times?
Oh yeah, we built it
Yeah.
up for quite a while.
Spotted,
We've actually like
spotted.
shortened it over time because it was over time.
No.
I think it's more of like the turtle that you find in gift shops in like Puerto Rico and stuff.
Or it's the
ones-
turtle
Wesley,
with-
could you bring out one of my golden Puerto Rican turtles here?
Video did the exact same thing. It stopped.
It just broke.
It just broke again right as you finished
Oh.
what you were saying.
So
Oh, but we heard the question though.
Yes.
Okay, that's what matters. You
Yeah.
can't repeat that.
Just yeah, I don't know. Just hit record again.
Yeah, it's fine.
Tiny
Something's
It'll
broken.
still
Turtle.
record in OBS.
tiny turtle.
It's being weird.
Why?
Figure out our why? Oh, I'll tell
Why
you.
that question?
I'll tell
Why?
you why.
The energy of the frat boys.
I've told the story a bunch of times on the podcast, but it doesn't matter. We've heard this on the podcast, so if it's not
Off-air
recording, it's
story,
whatever.
Yeah. Trump
Um,
2024. Am I right?
like Jesus. Like years
Trump
ago,
turtle.
years
That's my
ago,
turtle.
I had a job interview. I had a job interview, and I went to the interview, and it was exactly what you would expect. It was the same fucking interview that you always
Yep.
get. They ask the same stupid questions, and they're all dumb, and I just make up answers off the top of my head. None of it's true. I just
You're like,
lie.
got it.
Yeah, I just show up and lie. And when I was walking out of there, I was like, man, think of, which was actually the basis for me eventually coming to Ryan and be like, let's start a podcast. I want to ask this question to a bunch of people.
What is your favorite kind of turtle?
yeah, I don't give a fuck what your answer is. I just want to see how you react.
And that is
That's awesome.
that just shows the two different types
Truly.
of people
It
that we
does.
are.
Truly.
He's very much like
We always get
And I'm like,
different
"Oh, okay."
reactions.
Yeah, well,
Tiny
that is
turtle.
funny because I'm like, well, wait, if I'm going to answer the question, I'm going to need to. And she's like, I got to be on time.
Yeah. Yeah, but
With
we've
everything
gotten,
in my
I mean,
life.
most common answer, I used to say was box turtle, but I don't know if that's true anymore. I feel like
Donatello.
we've gotten ninja a few times.
It's a little
Sea
more
turtle's pretty
Snapper.
common.
Is that a
Yeah,
term?
snapping is probably
Snapping
most
is
common.
number one
Oh, yeah.
most
Number
common.
one now.
Snapper turtle.
Turtle.
Snapper
So glad
turtle.
you guys didn't pick that.
Yeah, that's a basic-
Yeah, because
basic
that's
answer.
It's so
yeah.
basic.
No, I just like I like tiny
You just
turtles.
want,
No,
you
I
just want to be
liter-
little.
I
Yeah,
literally
little
saw the
thing.
father-son from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And
I
just.
completely forgot about Nemo.
But, well, I forgot that they were called sea turtles, even though I literally was looking at them in the sea.
Like, what are those turtles in the sea? Yeah.
Tiny
What
turtles.
are they called when they're in the water?
Water turtles.
Classic.
Wordles.
H2 turtle.
Wordles.
Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Is that where they got
Does
that
that-
from?
Oh my God, Squirtle turtle.
Wordle?
Squirtle. A squirting turtle.
The Pokemon?
Squirtle.
Did you guys fuck with?
Are you not
Pokemon?
up on your Pokemon?
I fucked with.
I liked Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh. and
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh
you
wow.
were a
Yu-Gi-Oh is the in sync to Pokemon's
You wanna-
Backstreet Boys.
Okay, it's the other way around, all right?
You want to know what I did for show
Pokemon
and
is
tell?
in sync.
Absolutely not.
Show and tell when I was in 3rd grade.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. And this will be the last thing that I say. But show and tell in this 3rd grade. The last thing that I say ever. And then I'm going to go get a piece of pizza or something. But yeah, it sounds good, right? I know. For show and tell, I didn't bring a pet. I didn't bring a stuffed animal. I didn't bring my favorite pair of cute little fucking slippers.
Didn't bring your waterfall poster.
I didn't bring my waterfall poster because that stayed hidden. So because it had tons of kiss marks on it.
Just for you.
What I brought was a drawing of Yu-Gi-Oh that I did that morning at breakfast. Because I was really good, and I could draw it for you right now, and it'd be spot
You're
on.
like sending people to the Shadow Realm left and right.
Oh my God, I loved that. Maybe that's why I love Machine Gun Kelly. He looks just like.
Yeah, maybe.
Did it record anymore, Wesley? Is it having troubles?
I
it's
think
having
fine.
trouble.
Just do it in OBS, I guess, and we'll just use the audio and
It's
finish it
having
out.
troubles.
OBS is still going.
Oh, it's still been recording in OBS.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So we Gucci.
So yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. If you want to be Yu-Gi-Oh to my drawing, I got you, man.
That's incredible. I love that.
They look so alike.
I'm gonna have to look that up now. I was never a Yu-Gi-Oh. I was a Pokemon guy. Yu-Gi-Oh was a little later for me.
yeah.
I'm a little older than you.
No.
By probably like a decade, I would guess.
No way. How old are you?
I'm 36.
Yeah, no, you're about 5 years older than we are.
No,
really?
dude, you're 10 years older than me.
Yeah, that's why I thought. I figured it was about a decade. Yeah, at least minimum 10. You just turned 21, right?
How did you know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm 21.
You're a little older.
I'm young enough
Like
to
the
know
Backstreet
better.
Boys.
Old enough
Are the
to know
Backstreet? Oh,
better.
you're right. They were older. You're right.
Damn
they
straight.
were older. You're right. Before we get out of here, where can the people find you?
Oh, everything. OnlyFans, Farmers Only.
Farmers only.
Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter,
Everything's
Facebook.
the Foxies.
Yes, the Foxies.
Yeah, the Foxies.
I think
the Foxies
one of the
music.
things, the foxiesband.com,
Yeah,
which is like a
MySpace.
website. Yeah, MySpace.
Live Journal.
Live Journal,
Zynga.
Tumblr,
Tumblr.
Kick,
Okay.
Reddit.
All the things.
All the things, excuse me. Sorry. I've been burping this whole time, guys. I don't know what's wrong with
Fully
me.
fine.
Yeah.
No, it's just a human activity.
We're all
It was
gassy.
awesome to have you guys on.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Had a blast.
Thanks everyone for coming to hang out. You guys are awesome.
Fuck yeah!
I don't know when the sound effect ends. And we'll see y'all next time.
I get lost in the look on your face, so when you talk to me like Timothée Chalame, when I'm dreaming, when I'm awake, I need somebody like you, oh Timothée Chalamet. I